if you have, you may please ask. Yes, any doubt if you have till this point of a time from any topic, any section, you can ask.
Sir, good
Okay.
afternoon.
Yes, yes, Megha, good afternoon.
Sir, I have a doubt regarding alligator garfish, that is an invasive alien species in Kashmir Dal Lake, and it is also found in other region in India, that is like Bhopal, and uh, there is also that means, is it an IS invasive alien species in Bhopal also?
See, first of all, we need to understand that what an invasive species is. Any invasive species means that it has been imported from some foreign location. Now, this alligator garfish, it is not native to India. So yes, it is invasive both where. It is invasive in Bhopal as well as it is invasive in Dal Lake. Both areas it is invasive. Yes, Megha, is your doubt clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, anything else you want to ask? Fine. Anuradha has one question. Gray hydrogen. Okay, Anuradha, what is gray hydrogen? So if you remember previous class, we have discussed blue hydrogen. Blue hydrogen. Now, we discussed blue hydrogen, how blue hydrogen is made. So blue hydrogen is made through the process of steam methane reformation. And what is raw material that is used here? Here we use natural gas. Here we use natural gas. Now, in this particular process, I am talking about the blue hydrogen first. So in this particular process, whatever carbon would be emitted, that particular carbon would be stored. That carbon would be stored. Okay. However, if everything is same, but you don't store this particular carbon, then that hydrogen will be known as gray hydrogen. So only difference between gray hydrogen and blue hydrogen is this. First of all, similarity. Both will use steam methane reformation. In both, there will be natural gas that will be used as a raw material. But blue hydrogen, you will store the carbon that will be emitted. Gray hydrogen, you will not store the carbon. You will not store carbon. Okay. Yes, Anuradha, is your doubt clear? Please let me know that thing so that we can move to the next. Fine. Okay, so here we have doubt from Shireen. What is BOMA? What BOMA is? So BOMA we discussed when we were discussing about the cheetah reintroduction. So basically, cheetahs, when they were brought to India, for some time they have to acclimatize. For some time they have to be quarantined. So BOMA are enclosures. BOMA are enclosures where these cheetahs were placed for some time before releasing them in wild. So that is BOMA. Fine. So, Shireen, I hope your doubt is also clear. Now, moving on and let's get started. So, first 2 minutes, we will be revising all the topics that we have seen in previous class. And after these 2 minute revision, we'll be starting with the today's topic. So, today we'll be winding up our environment and we'll be starting with the next theme, that is economy. And I hope that all of you already have got the Indian economy handout. Okay, I hope everybody has got Indian economy handout. So, please keep them handy for today's class. Okay. So in previous class, we started with we have discussed the gambusia fish. Okay, we started with gambusia fish, right? Previous class, we started with gambusia fish, right? Anybody can confirm?
Sir.
Okay. So previous class, we started with the gambusia fish. Basically gambusia fish is being released in Andhra Pradesh. Now, this particular fish has been used for mosquito control because it feeds on mosquito larva. World Mosquito Program has also used, see, World Mosquito Program, what they have done? They have used the Wolbachia method for mosquito control in Indonesia. Wolbachia is a bacteria. Now, WHO does not recommend using it. Then Holoc gibbon we have discussed, only species of Holoc. Fine. Then the next we discussed about the cheetah reintroduction project being implemented by NDCA, NTCA, WII and Madhya Pradesh government, and all the aspects with respect to cheetah, their IUCN status, etc. we have discussed. Then tiger orchid, Guinness Book of World Record, it has grown in Kerala, largest orchid. Then primrose willow, it has become threat to elephant population. Why? Because it is an invasive species. It is out competing the other variety of crops that is fed by elephants. Then next, we discussed about the Iberian wolf. Fine, it is now being considered as extinct in this particular area. Okay, okay, in the Andalusia area of Spain. Fine. Then we discussed the Western Tragopan. Recently, Himachal Pradesh has made Western Tragopan as their state bird. Earlier, their state bird was Monal. We discussed that thing. Okay. Then we discussed about the vultures. So here we discussed that what 9 species of vulture are found in India, their IUCN status, then certain initiatives that have been taken for vulture conservation. We have seen this particular thing that vultures, their population has primarily declined because of diclofenac, but now also certain medicines that are being used in the veterinary sector, they are harmful for them. Then next we discussed about the elephant. Okay, elephant reserves, IUCN status of elephant, African elephant, Asian elephant. Then we discussed about the flying fox. We discussed that it was in news because of the Nipah outbreaks. It was connected with the flying fox. We have discussed about accidental host, natural host. We discussed about the Nipah virus outbreak here. Then rare black eagle, it was sighted in the Chel in Himachal Pradesh. Then we discussed about the red sand boa. This snake is called often as a double-headed snake because its tail as well as mouth both look similar. It is used in black magic, venomous, non-venomous, and we have seen that where it is found also. Then damselfly species, ecological Armageddon. Why it was called as Armageddon? To point towards ecological crisis that is coming. Now, this ecological Armageddon, what it is? An insect. Which variety type of insect? It is a damselfly. It is damselfly. Then we discuss about the platypus. eDNA study was done according to which population is declining. What are platypus? Egg-laying mammals, monotremes. What is environmental DNA? That also we have discussed in previous class. Then we discussed about the Gangetic River dolphin. Why Gangetic River dolphin was discussed, by the way? We discussed it because the global declaration on river dolphin was passed. We have discussed that this declaration aims to conserve the population of 6 surviving river dolphin. Out of this, one is porpoise that has also been included, that is Yangtze finless porpoise. Is Gangetic dolphin there? Yes. Their status, etc. we have discussed. Then tiger, already we discussed everything with respect to tiger when we were discussing Simlipal. Then buckthorn, also called as the Ladakh golden bush because of its vitamin C content. It has been given GI tag. Then Onatsucara sesame. So it is where it is grown. It is grown in Kerala. High antioxidant, good fat. Fine, that we discussed. Then we discussed about the goldfish declared as a state fish of Gujarat. Fine, it is also called as sea gold because of its high value. Then we discussed about the Methema separata, fine, which is a kind of a pest. Then we discussed about the Saiga antelope because its status has now been revised. Fine, recently its status became near threatened from critically endangered, which is good thing. Then we discussed about the bonnet macaque. Then named of a flying squirrel. I also told you about that. There is this particular confusion going on among researchers that does named of a flying squirrel really exist or not. But however, their status, where they are found, we have discussed. Then black tiger and Pantoid agroid. It is a variety of bacteria. Then we started with pollution. In pollution, we have discussed the National E-Mobility Mission Plan, objectives of National E-Mobility Mission Plan, FAME mission under National E-Mobility Mission Plan. E-retrofitment we have discussed, where the IC engine will be replaced with the EV engine. Then after that, moving on, we discussed about the E20 fuel, E85 fuel. Fine. We have discussed the E100 fuel. We have discussed about the flex fuel vehicles. We discussed about the national policy on biofuel 2018 in this capacity. Ethanol blending target 2025 that we have discussed. We have discussed basic biofuel, advanced biofuels, what is difference between all of them. Then we have discussed the E100 project, RUCO project. Now, just one question you need to write in the comment box, that RUCO project aims to make what? Biodiesel or biopetrol? Please write it in the comment box. BP, biopetrol, BD, biodiesel. RUCO project we have discussed. Pradhan Mantri Jeevan, Pradhan Mantri Jeevan, we have discussed that it will focus on second generation bioethanol, second generation of biofuel that we have discussed. Okay, Global Biofuel Alliance we have discussed, led by 3 countries, India, Brazil, and USA. Okay, we have discussed the transesterification. Now also please write, transesterification is a process is used to make what? Biogas, biopetrol, biodiesel. Biogas BG, biopetrol BP, biodiesel BD. Okay, please write again. Transesterification is a process that we discussed. Then we have discussed about the sustainable sugarcane initiative. Govardhan we have discussed. Fine, given later words also that we have discussed. Govardhan scheme. Okay, then we discussed about the invisible e-waste. What is invisible e-waste? Guys, keyword based question have been asked many number of times. So there can be a keyword based question that they'll give. E-waste was recently in news. What it refers to? They'll give you 4 options. So invisible e-waste is that kind of an e-waste which is there in the front of our eyes, but we don't consider it as e-waste because of its discrete nature. For example, USB cables, wire, e-toys. Okay, then EPR we have discussed, methanol MD15 we discussed, railway is using it. Then we have discussed about the different type of hydrogen. We discussed white hydrogen, blue hydrogen, gray hydrogen, green hydrogen, pink hydrogen, black hydrogen, brown hydrogen, all we have discussed. Then also we have discussed the National Biofuel Coordination Committee meeting that was held, which talked about the mandatory blending of the CBG and CNG, and it is to be used for vehicles as well as for cooking purposes. Then we discussed about the Swachh Vayu Sarvekshan survey, non-attainment cities. Satat we have discussed, and plastic overshoot day, and sludge also we have discussed. And if you remember, in previous class we have also made a connection. We also made a kind of a link. In that particular link, we have seen that how National Biofuel Policy, CBG, Govardhan, and then how Satat, everything, they are actually related. Okay, so that connection also we have already seen in previous class. So I hope that all these particular things are very well clear to you. Now moving on in renewable energies. Now guys, first of all, when we talk about renewable energies in the context of India, understand this particular thing that 2015 Paris Agreement, already I have discussed with you 3 INDC goal that India adopted, intended nationally determined contribution, 3 INDC goal that India adopted. Now, out of these 3 INDC goal, one of an INDC goal was to ensure that by 2030, India's 40% of installed electricity should be renewable in nature. India's renewable 40% of installed electricity capacity of India should be coming from renewable sources. You remember we discussed it already. I think in the first class we have discussed. Now guys, one particular thing is that already we have achieved this particular target. And as of 2022, 41% of India's electricity, 41% of India's installed electricity capacity is coming from renewable sources. Because of that, this particular INDC we have revised also. Now, what is updated INDC of India? So by 2030, 50% of India's installed electricity capacity, 50% of India's installed electricity capacity should be renewable based, should be renewable energies based. Now, when we talk about guys, India's renewable energy capacity, so here I have given you a breakup that from where India's renewable energy, what are the major renewable energy sources of India. So guys, first of all, you need to have an idea that where is the most renewable energy of India is coming from. Now, this data is taken from the MNRE, that is the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. So, biggest is solar power. Biggest is solar power. So, number 1 is solar power. Number 2 is wind power. Number 3 is biomass energy. Energy coming from biomass. Biomass mein baggies. What is baggies? Baggies is the leftover of sugar cane, etc. So you remember, we make ethanol out of that. It is contributing. Okay. Then baggies is also used basically in incinerator. Also, it is used for energy. Now, moving on, Govardhan scheme already we have discussed. Just what I want is that please go and just remember the top 3. Fine, solar power, wind power, and biomass. These are the top 3. Okay. Then here, guys, for mains examination, also I have provided you the schemes that India has initiated for energy transition. National offshore wind. Now they are not in news, but this is the framework that we have already initiated, schemes that we have already initiated for deployment of renewable energy. National Offshore Wind Energy Policy 2015. Now this particular policy allows, or this particular policy liberalizes the regime to deploy windmills offshore in the water. National Wind Solar Hybrid Policy. So basically on the same piece of land, windmill and the solar parks are to be developed. Energy Conservation and Sustainable Building Code, so that the buildings, they become more energy, so that they become more, now guys, understand this thing, that what we focus here, that as far as possible natural light should be used. As far as possible, building can be kept cool without using of AC. So making sustainable buildings. Okay, we are going to discuss that separately also. National Solar Mission, Green Hydrogen Mission. So likewise, these are the schemes that we have already initiated for the clean energies in India. Now, Govardhan, already I have discussed in previous class when I was discussing with you the biofuels. So no need to go again here. Now, moving on to tidal energy. Tidal energy. So basically, what happened recently, Parliamentary Standing Committee on Energy, it has submitted the report on the potential of ocean energy in India. Potential of ocean energy in India. Now, when we talk about ocean energy, or when we talk about the ocean is an untapped source of energy, and we get actually we can exploit three type of energies from ocean. Number one, wave energy. Number two, tidal energy, and number three is ocean thermal energy. Ocean thermal energy. So please write it as ocean thermal energy. So there can be three type of energies that we can exploit from oceans. Number one is wave energy, number two is the tidal energy, and number three is the ocean thermal energy. Now, according to Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, fine, it has been provided that India has potential of 54 gigawatt of ocean energy, which includes tidal power, 12.4 gigawatt of tidal power, and 41.3 watt of wave power. Okay. Now, basically, for your science and technology, as well as for your environment and ecology, there can be some questions that can be asked on the ocean energy. So let's discuss it a little bit, the mechanisms by which the ways by which the ocean energy can be exploited. So I've told you that three types are there. So first we have wave energy. Now you see this particular thing, that constantly waves are getting generated on ocean. These waves are hitting the shore. Now these waves, if you have ever been on a beach, you can see that with what force these waves are striking the coast. So this particular energy can be exploited to make electricity. So in wave energy, first we can use the oscillating water columns. Now, what these oscillating water columns can be used for? Fine. So basically, in oscillating water columns, what will be there? So basically, as waves are coming, what will happen? Waves. Now see, basically, what will be done? So basically, air pressure will be created. Now see, suppose you have a turbine. Here. So now this particular wave is coming. So basically, we can create the turbines. Now these particular waves will create an air pressure. Through this particular air pressure, this turbine can be rotated. And as the turbine will be rotated, by that we can make the electricity. So waves can be exploited. Waves energy can be used to create an air pressure in turbine. And by that air pressure in turbine will rotate and it can make electricity. Is it clear or not? For example, what happens in a thermal power plant? In thermal power plant, we are burning coal, we are creating steam. Okay, fine. Now, understand this particular thing. Then there are point absorbers. Now, what are point absorbers? Now, in ocean, there are these buoys. that are just floating. So buoys are the floating structures like this. Buoys are the floating structures like this. Now, as waves strike these particular buoys, as waves strike these particular buoys, now these buoys, they can have a rechargeable battery which can be recharged. It has a rechargeable battery which can be recharged, and they can be used for energy. They can be used for energy. And then there are the attenuators. Now, what will be the attenuators? Attenuators were kind of a floating raft. They are kind of a floating platforms or floating rafts. So basically, they will, as the waves will pass through them, so they will be what they will be. They will be floating structures like this, and as wave will pass through them, so it will generate power. That power can be exploited. That energy can be exploited. So basically, in wave energy, we have oscillating water columns, point absorbers, and then attenuators. Okay? These three we have here. Then after that, next we have is a tidal energy. Now you know this particular thing, that because of the gravitational pull of the moon and the sun, we see that there are the tides that rise in water. So basically, as these tides rise, we can exploit these tides to create energy. And in tidal energy, we have two formats. Number one is a tidal range. So basically, what can be done? So basically, difference in the water level. So you see this particular thing, that the highest and the lowest water level that will be created because of the rising tides. Now, you know that one point there is the highest water level, one time there is the lowest water level because of the tides. So because of this particular differential in the water level, this differential in water level can be exploited. Fine. Then there is a tidal stream generator. Now what they can do? So basically, falling water. So when the tides will fall, when the tides are falling, so that particular energy can be used to create, that particular kinetic energy can be exploited to make power. So two things are there. When we talk about tidal range, what it focuses on? So difference in highest water level and the lowest water level, the difference can be exploited. And in tidal stream generator, what will be done? So basically, falling water, the kinetic energy will be exploited, will be used to make energy. Fine. And then we have ocean thermal energy conversion. Now what it does, it exploits differential in water temperature. Now you know this particular thing, guys, that when we talk about the ocean or ocean water, so ocean's surface, it has warm water. As you'll go down, oceans, the water temperature will also dip, and at the floor of ocean, fine, you'll find that there will be really cold water. So basically in ocean thermal energy conversion, what is done? So basically, electricity is generated by exploiting the temperature difference between warm surface water and the deep cold water. So by exploiting this temperature differential, okay? So if you remember here, we have the word thermal related to heat. So by exploiting the temperature differential, electricity can be generated, power can be generated. Now, when we talk about tidal wave strength, so according to the reports, highest potential with respect to the tidal wave strength can be in Gulf of Khambat, Gulf of Kutch, Pak Bay, Hooghly River, okay, all these particular areas. So this is something that we have. These are the peculiar ways by which ocean energy can be exploited. Okay, so in total we have three. Again, we discussed wave, tidal, and ocean thermal energy. And it has the potential of more than 50 gigawatts. Fine. Then next, sand battery was in news. So recently, what has happened? Recently, Finland, they have installed world's first sand battery. Now, basically, what is this sand battery? This sand battery can store energy in the form of heat. So basically, now you see this thing, that suppose we in Rajasthan, what we have done? We have deployed solar parks. These solar power parks, they are generating lot of electricity. That electricity has to be transported from A point to B point. And this particular transportation is very costly. It is very much problematic. Secondly, how to store electricity? That has always been a problem. Okay. Now there is an efficient solution, and that solution has been created by Finland. That is, they have made a sand battery. Now, what these sand batteries can do? They can store heat. They can store heat from renewable energy sources for months. So they store energy in the form of heat. This is important thing. Fine. How they store energy? They store energy in the form of heat. So this is a high temperature thermal energy storage system, and it has a sand like material. Not literally it is having sand. So basically the material structure that they are using, it is similar to sand. So therefore it is referred to as sand battery. Okay. Sand battery. So solar power or wind turbines, they generate electricity. Now that particular can be used, can be transmitted through the wires or transmission lines, and then some can be stored as heat in the sand battery, and later that heat can again be converted in electricity. That heat can again be exploited to get converted in the electricity. Then nuclear energy program, right now we will not discuss it. Why? Because I am going to discuss it in much detail when we'll discuss science and technology. So when we'll discuss science and technology, there I am going to discuss this nuclear energy program. Not only recent developments we'll discuss, but in little bit detail, uh, what is the 3-stage nuclear power program of India, the type of fuel, the different type of reactors that we have. In little bit detail, I'll discuss it with the science and technology. So leave it for right now. Leave it for right now. Green hydrogen mission. If you remember, already in the previous class we have discussed. So when I was explaining you the type of hydrogen, and when I explained the green hydrogen, we came and already all these particular things we have seen in previous class. Now here we have certain miscellaneous topics. Here we have certain miscellaneous topics. And the first one that we have here is lead certification. Lead certification. Okay. Meanwhile, guys, if you have any doubt, any question, please let me know. Please ask your questions if you have any question. Yes, guys, any question, please ask.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, in sand battery, which मतलब सर हीट तो स्टोर होते हैं, एनर्जी को हीट फॉर्म में स्टोर होते हैं, पर वो जो एनर्जी मतलब सर कैसे लेते हैं? मतलब जैसे सोलर एनर्जी ऐसे होते हैं कि सोलर जो रे है उसको स्टोर करती है एनर्जी फॉर्म में, बस स्टैंड
सोलर
बैटरी
देखिए समझते हैं इसको। सोलर एनर्जी, सोलर पैनल क्या करता है? व्हाट अ सोलर पैनल इज डूइंग, इट इज absorbing heat, and that particular heat is being generated in electricity. That electricity is transmitted. नाउ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी ट्रांसमिशन करने के लिए आपको क्या चाहिए? आपको पावर लाइंस चाहिए। लेकिन सपोज आप इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेट कर रहे हो ना, देखो मैं आपको एक बात बताता हूं। इंडिया में रिन्यूएबल इंस्टॉल्ड एनर्जी कैपेसिटी की अगर हम लोग बात करते हैं ना, इंस्टॉल्ड एनर्जी कैपेसिटी रिन्यूएबल्स में, दैट इज 41%। बट एक्चुअल एनर्जी जो है इंडिया के अंदर में, एक्चुअल इलेक्ट्रिसिटी रिन्यूएबल से 41% नहीं आ रही है। A lot of installed capacity is not being utilized. Why it is not being utilized? आप इसको समझिए। सोलर पावर अगर आप 100% कैपेसिटी पे चला दोगे, वो सपोज 100 यूनिट ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है, बट वो 100 यूनिट यूज कैसे करोगे आप? आपको उसको भेजना पड़ेगा कहीं दूर, उसके लिए ट्रांसमिशन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर नहीं है। ठीक है, तो पॉइंट ये है कि दैट हम क्या कर सकते हैं, अभी अगर हमारे पास में ट्रांसमिशन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर नहीं है, तो हम उस हीट को स्टोर कर सकते हैं ओवर अ लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम। नाउ यू सी दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग, सोलर पैनल है फॉर एग्जांपल। सोलर पैनल कैन मेक इलेक्ट्रिसिटी ओनली ड्यूरिंग द डे टाइम, फाइन, व्हेन द सन इज देयर। रात को तो वो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बना नहीं सकता है, बट दैट हीट विच हैज बीन स्टोर्ड ड्यूरिंग द डे टाइम, वो सैंड बैटरी के थ्रू हम उसको इलेक्ट्रिसिटी में कन्वर्ट करके रात को भी यूज कर सकते हैं। ठीक है, सो बेसिकली क्या हो रहा है, बेसिकली sometimes chemical energy is converted in electrical energy, sometimes mechanical energy is converted in electrical energy. तो यहाँ sand battery में क्या हो रहा है? They are storing energy in the form of heat, and it can again be converted in electrical energy through certain processes. So this is entire mechanism that we have here. ठीक है, so it uses the sand like material, therefore it is being called as sand battery. Right now the research is still going on how to make it viable on large scale. ठीक है, yes dear, is this
Yes, sir.
clear? Is it
Okay, sir.
does it answers your question?
मतलब सर वो एनर्जी जब फॉर्म होते हैं, टाइडल एनर्जी, विंड एनर्जी, ऐसे टाइप का जो एनर्जी फॉर्म होते हैं उसके बाद बैटरी में स्टोर, देन उसको ट्रांसमिट करना होता है।
बैटरी में एनर्जी जो स्टोर है वो हीट के फॉर्म में स्टोर है, और वो हीट से फिर आप उसको इलेक्ट्रिक एनर्जी में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हो।
ओके सर, ठीक है।
लीड certification, okay, so lead certification was recently news. Lead certification was recently news. India has got recently first rank in lead certification. ये एक important one है. Just 2 years back there was an EPI rank, fine, environmental performance index that was released. EPI rank था एक, जिसके अंदर में इंडिया का rank was not that good. ठीक है, but here in lead certification India has got first rank. So let's discuss what this lead certification is all about. Fine. So basically lead certification, it stands for leadership in energy and environmental design. Leadership in energy and environmental design. Now you see this particular thing that, for example, we have lot of commercial buildings such as airports. Now these airports use a lot of energy for cooling, for heating, for lighting purposes. But we can construct these airports in such a way that as far as possible, they use natural light during the day's time. Fine. For example, if you'll go to Mumbai, fine, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj International Airport, if you'll go, you'll find that their roofs, they have little holes, fine, in them, so that a lot of natural light comes during the day. So basically these designs in buildings by which energy consumption can be reduced, by which the buildings can be made more efficient, these designs, they are called as the energy efficient environmental design. And US Green Building Council, US Green Building Council and Green Business Certification in corporations, what they do, they rank different countries in the context of energy and environmental design. They rank different countries, and here India has got first rank. Here recently India has got first rank because of the green buildings that India is now building. And in green buildings, India has surpassed the US as well as China. Now, when we talk about green buildings in India, so we run multiple programs. Run multiple programs and multiple agencies which lay down the protocol, which lay down the technical know-how for green buildings, and which certifies the green buildings. And the most important one that we have is number one, Indian Green Building Council ratings. Indian Green Building Council ratings, IGBC rating. Now this rating is given by CII, Confederation of Indian Industry. This rating is given by the CII. Okay, and it is given on the basis of sustainability, the types of sustainable materials, locally sourced materials if they have been used in a building, if the building is efficiently utilizing the natural light, fine, minimizing electricity. Then the next we have is Energy Conservation Building Code, ECBC. Now this particular code has been given by BEE, that is Bureau of Energy Efficiency. And basically this particular code lays down certain course of actions. It lays down certain methodologies that have to be followed by a building, and if they do that, they also get a certification by BEE. And the most renowned one that we have in India, is GRIHA, that is Green Rating for Integrated Habitat Assessment. Green Rating for Integrated Habitat Assessment. Now it is given by TERI in association for Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Now TERI stands for the Energy and Resource Institute. Fine. Now it has come out with this GRIHA rating. Now these particular ratings, they nudge the different departments, commercial entities to adopt green buildings. Okay, for example, when we talk about the Indira Gandhi Airport terminal in uh, Delhi, it has been rated as a green building, one of the most energy efficient airport in the world. So because of these particular frameworks that we have in India, India has got the lead first ranking. Now, important thing is that who releases it? It is released by two agencies, that is US Green Building Council and Green Business Certification Incorporation. So basically, they have developed it, and the countries they are given the ratings such as certified silver, gold, platinum. Then moving on, Asian Water Tower. Asian Water Tower. So again, a keyword-based question that Asian Water Tower was in news, what it is. So Asian Water Tower refers to the water that is contained in the glaciers, of Tibetan Plateau, Himalaya, Karakoram Range, Hindu Kush, Pamir, Tian Sha Mountain. So basically, this particular area, it is referred to as a third pole. Why? Because it contains maximum glaciers. After the Arctic and the Antarctic region, after North Pole and South Pole, it contains a maximum of glaciers. So therefore, it is called as third pole. And these glaciers, they contain a lot of water. So basically, according to World Meteorological Organization, they have recently released a report by the name of Global Water Resource Report. And now see, the water contained here in these particular glaciers, it is called as Asian Water Tower. Now the water in this Asian Water Tower has declined. It has declined by 4.3% between 2000 to 2018. It has declined by 4.3%. Why? Because you see this particular thing, global warming is increasing. Because of global warming, glaciers are melting fast, and as glaciers are melting fast, fine, rivers are flowing fast, they are carrying more water, flooding is happening, blow-off-like events will happen. So this is something that will, this is there. Now, North Sikkim, they already faced recently the glacial lake outburst flood, GLOF. We discussed it also. Fine. Why? Because of the rupture of South Lonak Lake, which was a glacial lake that happened. So basically, if climate change is not stopped, if rising temperature will not stopped, Asian Water Tower will decline even more. As Asian Water Tower will decline in medium or immediate term, there will be the increased water flow in rivers, which will lead to these glacial lake outburst flood events, which will lead to flooding, landslides, etc. And later it will lead to drought conditions. The similar thing was mentioned in WISE report also, if you remember. It was also mentioned in the WISE report. Then the concept of land degradation neutrality was in news. Now, by the way, already in previous classes, we have discussed about the land degradation neutrality. It means that the land resource that is needed to sustain the food and other needs for the humans, it should stay constant. How that will stay constant? The land that is getting degraded and the land that you are restoring, it needs to be balanced out. If 100 hectares of land will be degraded because of natural processes, you need to restore the similar amount of land. So land degradation neutrality is to be achieved. Land degradation neutrality is to be achieved. Now, when we talk about the land degradation neutrality, this particular concept, it originated in the UN Conference on Sustainable Development 2012. UN Conference on Sustainable Development 2012. Okay. Now, it was held to mark the 20-year anniversary of 1992 Earth Summit. 20-year anniversary of Earth Summit 1992. Now, when we talk about the land degradation, so the idea got developed under UN Convention to combat desertification. And also, we have one of our sustainable development goals. So 2015, 17 sustainable developmental goals were agreed. Within these 17 sustainable development goals, there is 169 targets. So out of that, goal number 15.3, it talks about goal 15.3, it talks about the land, it talks about stopping the land degradation, reversal of land degradation. Okay, so land degradation neutrality means the land that is getting degraded and the land that is getting degraded, that is needed to be reduced by restoring more and more land, so that resources or the land needed for food and other needs of humans, it stays constant. Now, for restoration of land, there are two international conventions also that are there that you should know. That is Bonn Challenge and New York Convention. New York Declaration, sorry. So there are two. Number one, New York Declaration. We have New York Declaration. And second we have is Bonn Challenge. Bonn Challenge. Now, both of them, what their goal is? Both of them, they have a goal to restore 350 million hectares of land. 350 million hectares of land by 2030. By 2030, both New York Declaration, Bonn Challenge, the goal is to restore 350 million hectares of land by 2030. And when we talk about India, under Bonn Challenge, India has already taken the target to restore 26 million hectare of land. To restore 26 million hectare of land. So total global 350 million is the target. Out of that 350, what is India's target? India will restore 26 million hectare of land by 2030. Okay. Fine. And by a restoration of how you restore the land. Land degradation is happening, landslides are happening, it degrades the land. You now, because of this land restoration, what we'll do? We'll plant more trees. That is one of the steps that will be taken. And if we are going to restore 26 million hectares of land, it will create a carbon sink equivalent to 2.5 to 3 billion ton of carbon dioxide, which is a good thing. And recently, guys, what has happened? Recently, Global Land Outlook report was released. Now, this particular report was a lot in the news last year. Actually, it is the last to last year's development. But this particular report, it analyzes the progress that we are making towards the land restoration and how much land degradation is happening. So given the land degradation and as well as the restoration, are we on a path to reach the land degradation neutrality or not? So that data is given by this land degradation, Global Land Outlook report. Who releases this particular report? United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, UNCCD. So one thing you need to keep in mind that when the question is coming with respect to degradation of land, desertification, UNCCD will be probably the agency which is going to overlook that particular area. So UNCCD releases this Global Land Outlook report. And also what has happened? Delhi Declaration was mailed on the Conference of Parties of UNCCD. So we discussed the Conference of Party of COP, CBD. So in the same way, Conference of Parties of the UNCCD also happens. So in the 14th CC, now why we are not discussing it? Because it held in 2019, 5 years back. So not a recent development. So there, what we have done, we have given a Delhi Declaration for improved land access and stewardship, land leadership. Okay, so this is something that is there. Okay, land degradation already we have discussed. Then UNCCD data dashboard on land degradation. Now, this is a platform. This is a platform which in real time gives information with respect to the land degradation. Okay, so this is an interactive online platform, provides access to comprehensive information and data related to land degradation. Okay, so who has launched it? It has been launched by the UNCCD, United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. Fine. Then Brazzaville Summit, also called as the Three Basin Summit. Brazzaville Summit, also called as the Three Basin Summit. Now, Brazzaville is in Congo. Brazzaville is a city in Congo. Now, few things first of all you should understand is that, okay, Basically, when we talk about equatorial rainforest, when we talk about the equatorial rainforest, they basically equatorial rainforest, they are the most productive. They are most productive. They give a lot of ecological services. In fact, Amazon rainforest or Amazon region, Amazon basin, it is called as the lungs of the world because of the lush greenery that they have. So basically, just guys write two lines. I just want you to write two lines here. It will complement it. Please write two lines. Three basins, three basins, three basins, BASIN, three basins comprising Amazon basin, Congo River basin, Borneo, Mekong, Southeast Asia basin. The three basins comprising Amazon basin, Congo basin, Borneo, Mekong, Southeast Asia basin. Three basins consist 80% consist 80% of world's tropical forest, consists 80% of world's tropical forest, and two-thirds of Earth's biodiversity, and two-thirds of Earth's biodiversity, and two-thirds of Earth's biodiversity. Okay, these three basins, okay, Amazon basin, Congo basin, Borneo, Mekong, Southeast Asia basin, they consist 80% of the tropical forest and two-thirds of the biodiversity. Therefore, preserving them, sustaining them, ensuring their degradation doesn't happen is very important. If they get collapsed, again, it will be a type of a tipping point for Earth. You remember in first class, we discussed the climate tipping point. So any destruction or degradation or collapse of any of these three ecosystems will be the tipping point for Earth. And to protect them, to preserve them, to give a call for their protection, this Brazzaville summit was held. It is called as Three Basin Summit. Why Three Basin Summit? Because Amazon, Congo, Borneo, Mekong, these three basins it is talking about. Therefore, it is called as a Three Basin Summit. One correction, guys, you need to do. Okay. Just strike it down. Just strike this particular point down. Okay, just this one. So Brazzaville Summit, Three Basin Summit was held in 2023 to address environmental and economic issues. Fine, the summit aimed at fostering cooperation. Fine, it was aimed at to raise the awareness. It was aimed to raise a sensitization in people on the importance of this. And which three basins it is focusing upon? It is focusing upon on these three basins. It is focusing on these three basins. Now, when we talk about Amazon basin, Amazon basin. So basically, Amazon basin, it is called as the it is called as the lungs of the earth, lungs of earth, because of Amazon basin, Amazon rainforest, the trees that they provide a lot of oxygen. Then Congo basin, it is called as the lungs of Africa, spans it spans around the Congo river. Okay, and Borneo, Mekong, Southeast Asia basin. Fine. Now, one thing, guys, you can do is that, see, 6 countries through which this Congo river is passing. Please write their name. Please write their name. Angola, 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 Cameroon, 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 DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. Now there are two Congos, DRC and then there is the Republic of Congo. Republic of Congo. Republic of Congo. Okay. Fine. So Angola, Cameroon, DRC, Republic of Congo, Tanzania, 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 and Tanzania, and Central Asian, sorry, my apologies, Central African Republic. Central African Republic. Central African Republic. Central African Republic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Fine. Now, Borneo, Mekong, Southeast Asia Basin. Now, this particular basin is shared by 11 countries, but Mekong River that we talk about. Now, say it contains two things. Island of Borneo, it includes the island of Borneo and Mekong River. It includes the island of Borneo and Mekong River. Now, this Mekong River, it passes through, please write name. Mekong River, it crosses China, write it fast, China, Myanmar, China, Myanmar, Thailand, 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 China, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam. Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam. And Amazon rainforest is shared between, please write. Amazon rainforest is shared between Venezuela, 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 Guyana, Guyana, Suriname, Suriname, French Guiana, French Guiana, okay, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana, Brazil, Brazil, Bolivia, Brazil, Bolivia, Peru, Brazil, Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador and Colombia. Ecuador and Colombia. Okay, so these are the countries which shares the Amazon basin. Amazon rainforest, sorry. Amazon rainforest. Amazon rainforest. Fine. Yes, guys, is it clear to everyone? Yes or no? Please reply in the comment box so that I can know that it's clear to everyone. Yes, everyone. Is it clear? Yes, no. Any problem, any issue if you have? Fine. So please ensure that you are taking down all this information and you are revising it, because very important along with the current. Now see, this is current, but this is actually a static part that you should know, but important for our UPSC examination. Fine. So that is all about it. So what this three basin summit is all about, this Brazzaville summit, three basin summit. First of all, what are three basins? You should know. Secondly, Brazzaville summit. Why it is called as Brazzaville? Because it was concluded in Brazzaville, which is a city in Congo. So this summit focused on conservation of these three basins. That is Amazon, Congo, and Borneo Mekong basin, because importance that I already told you. So they will advocate regulations, they will advocate stopping of land degradation, they will advocate conservation, they will sensitize people. All these activities will be done here. Fine. Then next is Belém Declaration. Now, Belém Declaration, why it is called as Belém? Because it was signed in the city of Belém in Brazil. So word Belém means city of Brazil, Belém. Now, this Belém Declaration was signed by the Amazon Cooperation Treaty Organization members. Amazon Cooperation Treaty Organization members. Now, what these Amazon Cooperation Treaty Organization focuses upon? It focuses on conservation of Amazon region. It focuses on conservation of Amazon region. Why? Because already I've told you that it is the lungs of the world. So what will be done? What will be done? What will be done? Here, this Belém Declaration, it focuses on active involvement of indigenous people in decision making. So indigenous people, they have traditional knowledges, they have traditional knowledge by which they have conserved environment for so many years. So involving them in decision making, involving them in the governance of this entire region is very important. Then moving on, next we have carbon nanofluorettes. Carbon nanofluorettes. So basically, carbon nanofluorettes were in use. What is carbon nanofluorette? Carbon nanofluorette is a type of a new carbon material that has been identified, which has unique structure. Now, guys, understand this particular thing. Why, by the way, it is called as fluorette? Fluorette, carbon nanofluorette. So basically, its structure is something resembling a flower. Okay, I don't have that good drawing. Okay, so its structure is like, as we have flower, in flower we have petals. Now see this particular thing. See this particular thing. That basically, guys, basically, let's say we have solar panel. We have solar panel. How a solar panel works? A solar panel is absorbing incoming solar radiation, incoming solar rays, and it is generating that heat in electricity. It is converting that heat in electricity. If we have any way that we can enhance the ability of these solar panels to absorb more heat, to absorb more solar insolation, they will become more efficient. They will become more efficient. So when we talk about the carbon nanofluorettes, it is a new carbon nanomaterial whose layer can be applied on solar panels, whose layer can be applied on certain type of utensils, certain type of metals, and suddenly their power to absorb heat and their power to retain heat, it increases manifold. It increases manifold. Now you see this particular thing, that they have this complex structure. Because of this complex structure, the heat, once they have absorbed it, it will not be able to escape. It will not be able to escape. It will be trapped in this complex structure. It will be trapped in this complex structure. So basically, in electrochemistry, gas, batteries, it has, in capacitors, it has a lot of efficiency. Moreover, these nanofluorettes, they can absorb light across multiple frequencies. They can absorb infrared, visible light, ultraviolet light across multiple frequencies, where usual materials, now see, usual materials cannot absorb light across all frequencies. They can absorb light across a lot of frequencies. And For example, here 1 square meter coating of nanofluorides can vaporize 5 liter of water in 1 hour. 5 liter of water in 1 hour. Fine. Why? Because they will absorb more heat. Now, in solar energy, thermal energy storage, fine, we can use it. Then next, we have in news, Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmer Right Authority, PVFRA. This authority was in news. Now, this authority, that is the Protection of Plant Variety and Farmer Rights Authority, it was created by the PPVFRA Act. So, Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmer Right Authority Act. Through this particular act, this particular authority was created. Now, what this particular authority does? This particular authority recognizes the rights of the farmers on certain agricultural practices, certain types of seeds. Now, you see this particular thing, guys, that today what is happening? Today, what is happening? There are these corporates that have come like Monsanto. What they do, they are coming out with a certain type of seeds and they are getting patent that, okay, only we can make these kind of seeds. And if you have to use these seeds, you have to buy from us. Now, these corporates, they have just been incorporated few years back, but farmers, they are hundreds and thousands years back, they are doing farming, they are following certain agronomic practices, they are preparing certain type of seeds. So we need to recognize the farmers' rights also on their seeds varieties. We need to recognize the farmer rights on certain agronomical agricultural practices, so that corporates don't take patent on all the knowledge that the farmers have accumulated over the thousands of years. So this particular authority, this particular authority, first of all, it operates under Department of Agriculture, Cooperation and Farmers Welfare. Now, its role is to regulate the rights of farmers in relation to plant varieties and to recognize the other rights of farmers. Okay. Then, guys, we have discussed the climate energy dashboard. Okay. So basically, climate energy dashboard. Basically climate energy dashboard report was released. Fine, we have discussed it. Now here, guys, there are some other dashboards that we have here. Okay, and the authority that is running that dashboard, that has been given here. Okay, so what you can do, you can just simply go through that. Okay, just the list is given. Then next we have is the Kalasa Bandura project. Kalasa Bandura project. Now, Kalasa Bandura project was in news. Kalasa Bandura project was in news. Why this Kalasa Bandura project was in news? Because, guys, recently there was a controversy that happened on this Kalasa Bandura project. First of all, what is this project? This project aims to divert the river. It aims to divert the water from Mahadai River. Now, Mahadai River, it is called as the lifeline of Goa. So, Mahadai River, also called as Mandovi River. Now, this particular river originates from Karnataka, flows through Goa and empties in Arabian Sea. So, originates from Karnataka, originates in Karnataka, Western Ghats, goes to Goa and then enters in the Arabian Sea. And this Mahadai River is lifeline of Goa. Now, Karnataka proposes that water will be diverted from this Mahadai River to Malprabha River. Malprabha River. Fine. Now, Malprabha River, it is a tributary of the Krishna River. Malprabha River, it is tributary of Krishna River. Malprabha River, it is tributary of Krishna River. So what it aims to do? It aims to divert water from Mahadai to Malprabha, which is tributary of Krishna. Now, if they'll divert water, if they will divert water, the Goa's water security will get compromised. How Goa will be able to get water for their domestic needs? So because of that, controversy developed between Goa and Karnataka. Fine. Then, guys, there are some other tiger reserves that have been in news. Fine. Recently they were in the news, so I added it towards the last. That is Melaghat Tiger Reserve. Where it is located? Maharashtra. Okay. And certain tribal communities that are found here is Korkus, Goalis, Gonds. Now, again, I have told you that basically you are not really required to go and track the flora and fauna, because you cannot remember all of them. Only iconic species you need to know. And for species, whatever we have done already, no need to go beyond that, because see, there are hundreds and thousands of animal and plant species that we have in India. It is not possible, humanly not possible, for you to remember all of them. And even UPSC is not randomly going to ask a question that, okay, no. What they do, they'll ask a question on the species that were in the news, or they are the flagship species, or there is some issue that is going on with respect to that particular species. This has always been the case. So I'll not advise you to remember all of them, only the major species that are there. You can see them, and already we have discussed it also. Okay, we have Mukundra Hill Tiger Reserve. Okay, one thing, important rivers you need to see. So catchment area for 5 rivers: Khandu, Khapra, Sipna, Gadga, Dolar. Now they are not the major ones, so even no need to sweat too much on that also. Mukundra Hill Tiger Reserve, where it is located? It is located in Rajasthan, Kota. Kota. Fine. And why it is called as Mukundra Hills Tiger Reserve? Now see, it is based in a valley, and this valley is created by Mukundra and Gargola Mountains. Gargola Mountains. Okay. So because of this, they are called as, it is called as Mukundra Hills. Then Kalakkad Manduthurai Tiger Reserve, Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu. And then we have the Kemlang Tiger Reserve. Kemlang Tiger Reserve is in Arunachal Pradesh, near the India-Myanmar border. India-Myanmar border. Fine. So just largely the factual things that we have here. Fine. Only major thing that you should be focusing upon. So see, major river bodies if they have there, okay, or iconic species, but that beyond that, no need to read every and need to remember, because that is not going to come in the examination. In examination, they talk about the major highlights due to which it has been in news, and those one we already discussed. Okay. Yes, guys. Any question if you have, please ask. Otherwise, we'll be starting with economy. Yes, any question, guys? If you have, you may please ask. Okay. Yes, first of all, you all got economy handout. Please respond. Yes, guys, please respond. You all got economy handout, right? Okay. Okay, good. First of all, I hope that you guys are revising. Okay. One thing also, please let me know that what if we take a 5 minute of oral random revision on the topics that we have done previously. For example, I'm asking you certain questions from the topics that we have done, either in the true false format or in such format, and you responding to that. Will it be helpful? If it will be helpful, we'll do that. Otherwise, we'll not do that. So will it be helpful for you? Will it be helping in revision? Please let me know. Yes, guys, others, please let me know, because if it is helpful, then only we'll be doing it. So not much time, 5 minutes, either in the start or 5 minutes in the between, or anywhere. Suppose after 1.5 hours, 5 minutes revision will do. It will be random. For example, now we are going in economy, so we'll do from environment. Once let's say we are in science and tech, I might take economy, I might take environment, I might take some other theme. So it will be random. Okay, so it will helpful in two ways. Number one, that you gave right answer, you'll get a confidence that, okay, I remember. Even if you are struggling to answer, it will be a nudge that, okay, I have to revise this particular portion. Okay, chalo, I got your answers. Okay, so we'll do that. No issues. Okay, I got your answers, and all of you are saying that it will be helpful. So we'll do that. Don't worry. We'll do that. Okay, fine. Moving on. Indian economy. So let's get started with Indian economy. Indian economy, first theme that we are going to start is developmental issues. Developmental issues. Okay. So basically, guys, recently Lakhpati Didi scheme was in news. Recently, government has announced Lakhpati Didi scheme. Now, Lakhpati Didi scheme. So basically, this Lakhpati Didi scheme, it has been started under the aegis of Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihood Mission. Now, under this Lakhpati Didi scheme, government aims to provide training assistance to at least 2 crore women, so that they can earn a sustainable livelihood which gives them at least 1 lakh rupees per annum income. Okay, and it is the part of government's Nari Shakti Abhiyan, the mission to empower women. So basically, guys, what government is going to do? Government is going to train, government is going to empower, government is going to assist women so that at least 2 crore women, they can earn 1 lakh rupees of annual sustainable income. Now, women, they would be trained in certain kind of occupations. For example, they'll be trained in plumbing work. Okay. Now, when will this, now guys, one of a scheme the government has, let me explain you with the help of example. So guys, see this particular thing. We have Jal Jeevan Abhiyan. Jal Jeevan Abhiyan. Now, Jal Jeevan Abhiyan's goal is, to provide every household functional, household tap water connection by 2024. So every household, functional household tap connection. Every household is to be provided one tap connection by 2024, which will provide at least 55 liter of water per person. 55 liter of water per person. This is the goal. That we have here. Okay. Now, as you'll provide the piped drinking water, those pipes, they'll need regular maintenance also. Who will do that maintenance work? We can train women. So this question might come in your mind that why women are being trained in this peculiar type of a job, that is plumbing. It is because that Jal Jeevan Mission Abhiyan already has recognized that Pani Samitis will be developed and women will be given a special role. So that repair work, maintenance work will be done by women. So for plumbing, they will be educated. LED bulb making, drone operation. Now, guys, there is already one scheme that is going on, that is the Swamitwa scheme. Now, what this Swamitwa scheme is all about? So under this Swamitwa scheme, step number one, government is going to use drones to do the to do the digital mapping of the parcels of land in villages. So in land, there are the parcels of in the villages, there are the parcels of land. Those particular land will be mapped. And then what will be happen? Digital land records will be prepared. And in these digital land records, the ownership rights of the people will be recognized. Now, if you go to the villages, the major dispute that is going on there in village is the land dispute. I have a dispute with my neighbor. We have not settled our land boundaries till now. So basically, what government is going to do? Government is going to digitize all land records and will recognize the rightful owners of the land so that these land disputes get resolved and everybody gets their proper ownership. Okay. So the drone that will be used in the Swamitwa, in these drone operations, in this drone repair work, women will be trained. Tailoring work, weaving work. Okay. So understand, you need to have this particular knowledge on whose basis you can make these particular links also. So basically, women will be trained in these particular occupation. Now, women will also be encouraged to start micro enterprises within their village. Okay, women in self-help groups will be trained. So individual women will be trained. Women in self-help groups will be trained. Now, what are the self-help groups? So self-help groups are voluntary. Self-help groups are voluntary associations where people from similar socio-economic background come together to achieve some objective economic goals. For example, suppose I make some toys, and in my village, a lot of people are making toys. So we all can come together, will bring our raw material, will bring our tools, and collectively will make a toys. Now, as we come together, we can become a brand. We can get better marketability. We can get a better recognition. So basically, what the self-help groups are. So self-help groups, they are small, informal, voluntary associations of individuals where people from similar socioeconomic backgrounds come together. Now, when we talk about the self-help groups, they should follow Panch Sutras, 5 principles. What are these Panch Sutras? There should be regular meeting. Savings should be mobilized. Internal lending, members should lend money to each other. Timely repayment and maintaining proper accounts. So these are the Panch Sutras that should be followed by self-help groups, and self-help groups following these Panch Sutras are deemed as credit worthy by the banks also. So self-help group, women in self-help group will be provided the assistance. Individual women will be provided assistance. Women will be provided assistance so that they can start their micro enterprises also. Okay. Now, one thing is that guys, this program Lakpati Didi scheme is under which mission, is under which bigger scheme. So it is part of Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission. Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission. Now, this particular scheme is a flagship scheme by the Ministry of Rural Development. Flagship scheme. This particular scheme provides to go for poverty alleviation. It tries to go for poverty alleviation. Now, see this particular thing. One thing you should understand. See, for poverty alleviations in rural areas, we largely have two schemes. MG Narega, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, and the second that we have here is National Rural Livelihood Mission. Both focus on poverty alleviation, but MG Narega focus is unskilled work. NRLM focus is skilled work. So basically, MG Narega, will be provided? Now, if you might be already knowing about the MG Narega. So it promises 100 days of paid employment. By the way, 100 days of paid employment is not for every person, it is for every household. So number one, every household is to be provided 100 days of paid employment, number one. Number two, employment will be provided for unskilled work. But in NRLM, through skilled activity, poverty alleviation will be done, work will be provided to the people. Fine. So it aims to reduce poverty by gainful self-employment.
So what kind of skilled activities
Yes.
are there in the second one? What kind of skilled activity?
Many skill activities are there. They can be taught some welding work, they can be taught some electric work, they can be taught some other kind of occupation. Many such vocations are there. Plumbing work is there, electric work is there, carpentry is there. Okay. Yes, Melissa, is your doubt clear?
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay. Now for this, now see this thing, for skill development, it will collaborate with the other existing schemes also that are there. For example, you might be knowing about the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, which already provides for the skill development. We have Skill India Mission, we have NSDC, National Skill Development Corporation. So they collaborate with each other. Okay, they are going to collaborate with each other. So what it focuses on? Poverty reduction by providing them the self-employment and skilled wage employment. Now it is a demand-driven, it follows demand-driven approach. Fine. What are demand-driven approach? Basically, first of all, guys, what is a demand-driven scheme? Demand-driven scheme is one which will not have any pre-ascertained target that, okay, will help only 500 people, only will help 100 people. Demand-driven scheme means that whatever demand is there, they have to fulfill. Suppose if 100 people came, they have to give assistance to 100 people. If 500 people came, they have to give to assistance to 500 people. Okay, and states are given a lot of liberty that how they want to go forward with that. So the state can have their state specific poverty reduction action plan, that certain states might say that, okay, I think we should train people in tourism because in our state tourism has a lot of potential. Some other state says that in our state farming has a lot of potential, so we need to make them tech enabled farmers. So point is that the state have been given a lot of flexibility. Okay, I hope guys that you have got this particular idea. Investment in social mobilization of people, financial inclusion of people, sustainable livelihood and social inclusion. Provide them access to entitlements. Next, self-help group bank linking project. Self-help group bank linking project. Okay. Now, what is this self-help group bank linking project? Now, see this particular thing, guys, that self-help groups already we have discussed that these are the informal voluntary associations of individuals where individuals from similar socio-economic background come together. Okay. Now, these self-help groups often, now guys, one idea to make a self-help group is that so that they get access to formal credit. Now, often what happen, people in villages, they are dependent on money lender. So what we aim to do, we want to make them self-help group so that they can collectively go to the bank and can get the credit availability. Even NABARD, fine, encourages the banks to provide the money or loans to a self-help group. But many of banks have poor attitude towards self-help group. Many of banks, they don't know the importance of self-help groups. In fact, many of the banks don't know the economic potential of the self-help groups. So what happened? Ministry of Rural Development. So basically what happened? Sorry. NABARD Bank. NABARD. It started this self-help group bank linkage program. NABARD started self-help group bank linkage program. Under this particular program, banks will be taught about the self-help groups and their importance. Now, what will be there? Bank Sakhis will be appointed. Bank Sakhis will be appointed. Who are the Bank Sakhis? Bank Sakhis, these will be the interface between bank and the self-help groups. So they'll explain to self-help group all the paper formalities and they'll explain the bank the importance of self-help group. So they will be the intermediaries between the self-help group and bank Sakhis. Bank Sakhis. Okay. So fine. This will be there so that the self-help groups get money easily. So recently, Ministry of Rural Development, they have given the data that loans of 7.68 lakh crore rupees have been accessed by self-help groups under this self-help group bank linking project. So this is a huge money, 7.68 lakh crore rupees. This much money has been accessed with the help of the bank linking project. So one important thing is that who is running this particular project? It is being run by the NABARD. It is being run by the NABARD. What will be done? Bank Sakhis will be appointed as a special nodal persons. They'll act as an interface between people and bank. Then next we have National Multidimensional Poverty Index. Now, basically, see, we originally had Global Multidimensional Poverty Index. Now, there is that basically there is a unidimensional poverty. There is unidimensional idea of poverty and then there is the multidimensional idea of poverty. Now, when we talk about the unidimensional poverty, we see poverty just as the lowness of income. Unidimensional means seeing poverty only with economic angle. That is unidimensional poverty measurement. Okay, multidimensional poverty measurement, you see poverty not just as an economic phenomena. You see poverty. Now, see, just don't see their income. Don't just consider their income. Also consider that whether they have accessibility of clean fuel or not, whether they have proper housing or not, whether they are getting proper education or not. So poverty is multidimensional. So we have a global multidimensional poverty index. Now this global multidimensional poverty index is actually released by UNDP, United Nations Development Program, and Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative, OPHI. Since 2010, this global multidimensional poverty index is being released. Okay. Now what it does, it actually tracks poverty. It actually tracks poverty on three dimensions: health, education, and standard of living. Now, these three dimension is subdivided under 10 indicators. These three dimensions is subdivided under 10 indicators. We'll see that, don't worry. Okay. And on this particular basis, it is a tracking poverty since 2010. Okay. Recently, Global Multidimensional Poverty Index 2023 report was released. And in this particular report, they have said that 1.1 billion people in 110 countries remain multidimensionally poor. Why? 2/3 reside in middle income country. By the way, guys, this data is not asked in UPSC examination. No need to focus on that. Okay. Now, when we talk about India, on the basis of this global multidimensional poverty index, has prepared its own poverty index. That is national multidimensional poverty index. India has prepared its own on the basis of this global multidimensional poverty index. Okay, that is national multidimensional poverty index. Now, this national multidimensional poverty index, who releases it? It is released by Niti Aayog. It is released by Niti Aayog. Now, first of all, it is also released on the basis of the three dimensions same that are being used by the UNDP and OPHI. So UNDP and OPHI, we had health, education, standard of living. National Multidimensional Poverty Index, same. Health, education, standard of living. Now, within health, we have nutrition, child and adolescent mortality, okay, and maternal health. I am making a star here. Okay. Then in education, years of schooling, how many years of schooling people are doing? School attendance, how much attendance is there in the school? It is considered. Then in standard of living, cooking fuel is considered. Whether they are using the LPG gas connection, whether they are using LPG cylinder, whether they are using cow dung cake, whether they are using wood. Sanitation, do they have piped drinking water connection or not? Do they have toilets or not? If they have toilet, is running water there in the toilet or not? Drinking water, do they have water in their compound, in their homes, or they have to go 10 kilometers away? Housing, pakka house or kacha house. Electricity, do they have or not? Assets, do they have basic assets, that is a TV, fan, light, etc. And bank account. So in bank account, here also I'm making a star. So national multidimensional poverty index, health, education, standard of living, and under that we have these 12 indicators. Okay. Now, I have put star at two places. Maternal health, I have put a star, and thus bank accounts. These two are not included in global multidimensional poverty index. In global multidimensional poverty index, guys, we have 3 dimensions and 10 indicators. 3 dimensions and 10 indicators. In national multidimensional poverty index, we have 3 dimensions and 12 indicators. We have 2 extra here. Which 2 are extra? Maternal health and bank account. It is not included in the global MDPI, but included in the national multidimensional poverty index. Is it clear? Now, according to recently released National Multidimensional Poverty Index report, who releases it? Niti Aayog releases it. Okay, and they have tracked poverty since 2005-06. And they say that since 2005-06, there is constant reduction in poverty that has happened. Okay, these many people have escaped multidimensional poverty in these many years. Fine, intensity of poverty has reduced. Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Rajasthan has experienced fastest reduction in poverty. Okay, so this is something. Now, this is all about. So important thing is that you need to remember that what are the 12 indicators, what are the 3 dimensions, and it is based on the global MDPI. What is difference between both of these two? This also you should be knowing. Now, moving on to the next topic. Okay, any doubt till here? Yes, any doubt till this point of a time, please reply. Any doubt, any question if you have, you may please ask your question. Okay. Moving on. Mahila Samman Saving Certificate. Mahila Samman Saving Certificate. So recently, Mahila Samman Saving Certificate scheme was in news. Now, what are these Mahila Samman Saving Certificate? It is actually a small saving certificate scheme. It is actually a small saving certificate scheme. So basically, guys, multiple small saving schemes are announced sometimes by the Post Office Department, sometimes by the Ministry of Finance, in order to give opportunity to people to save money for different type of causes. So recently, this Mahila Samman Saving Certificate scheme was launched for the women in the last budget on the occasion of 75th year of independence. On the occasion of 75th year of independence, Mahila Samman Saving Certificate scheme was launched. Now, important aspects. First of all, this particular scheme has these deposits. They will have 2-year tenure. Means money that will be deposited. It will be deposited for 2-year tenure. 2 year will be the maturity of the deposit. Fine, up to 2 lakh rupees can be deposited, and 7.5% per annum interest rate, which is higher than the other small savings, it will be allowed, and interest will be quarterly credited to the account. So 2 lakh rupees you have deposited, quarterly interest will be deposited in your account. Now, partial withdrawal, is it? Now, important thing is that, is partial withdrawal allowed? Yes, partial withdrawal is allowed. So account holders, they can withdraw up to 40% of the amount after 1 year and 100% after 2 years. Why? Because the tenure is 2 years only. So 100% amount can be withdrawn after 2 years, 40% amount can be withdrawn after 1 year. Minimum deposit 1000 rupees, maximum deposit 2 lakh rupees. Minimum deposit 1000, maximum deposit is 2 lakh rupees. Okay? Now, in one family, fine, individuals can open unlimited accounts. Fine. Unlimited account can be opened up subject to maximum deposit limit. Means in one account, maximum money that you can put is 2 lakh. Fine. Maximum money that you can put in one account is 2 lakh. Okay. But a number of account could be unlimited. There is no restriction. You can open 5 accounts, 10 accounts in your family. If you, let's say, have if you have 10 women, they can open their account. Okay. Fine. So this is all about it. Then we have some other schemes also. We have some other small saving schemes also here. That is, we have PPF, Public Provident Fund Scheme. Now, PPF, it is a long-term scheme. So you see, Mahila Samman Saving Certificate, the tenure was 2 years. But here, money is locked for 15 years. Here, money is locked for 15 years. So minimum investment is 500 rupees. Maximum investment is 1.5 lakh rupees per year. Now, maximum that you can invest here is 1.5 lakh per year. Fine. And once you deposit the money, it will be locked for 15 years. It will be locked for 15 years. After 15 years, you can extend for 5 more years. 5 more years. And contributions that are made to PPF are eligible for tax benefits under 80C. Under 80C. Fine. Then we have some other schemes also. Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana. It is specifically for the girl child's education. Girl child's education. So basically, account can be opened in the name of a girl child. Account can be opened in the name of a girl child. So till the age of 10 of a girl child, account can be opened. Money can be saved there, and that money can be withdrawn partially at the age of 18 and completely at the age of 21. So complete withdrawal is allowed at it matures at the age of 21, but partially is allowed at 18 years for the higher education of the girl child. The National Saving Certificate Scheme is there. Senior Citizen Saving Scheme is there. Multiple we have, but recently that got announced was the Mahila Samman Saving Certificate Scheme. Okay, moving on. Moving on to the next one.
Sir, what is partial withdrawal?
Partial withdrawal means, suppose, what is partial withdrawal? I deposited 1000 rupees. I want to withdraw 1,000 rupees I withdraw, deposited, I want to withdraw 200, 300. This is partial withdrawal. Partial means the part of full.
Okay, sir.
Fine. So if you remember, na, see, if I show you, if you go back, after 1 year, 40% of deposited amount can be withdrawn. This is partial. After 1 year, not 100% you can withdraw. You can withdraw 40%. This is partial withdrawal. The next is periodic labor force survey report. Periodic labor force survey report. Periodic labor force survey report. So recently, periodic labor force survey report was released. Periodic labor force survey 2022-23 report was released. Now, first of all, who releases this particular report? First of all, who releases this particular report? So this particular report, it is released by NSO, National Statistical Office. National Statistical Office. NSO, it is a body under Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, MOSPI. Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Fine. So under Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, we have NSO, National Statistical Office. This organization was made after merging two of the organizations, that is CSO and NSSO. Now, guys, many of the important data were released by the CSO and NSSO. Even nowadays in newspapers, when the reports are being published, fine, they say still use the name CSO and NSSO, but CSO and NSSO doesn't exist now. Both of them have been merged under NSO. And NSO, it releases this periodic labor force survey report. Fine. Now, what it has provided? It has provided that the labor force participation rate increased from 55.2% to 57.9%. This is the composite. But for male it is 78.5%, for female it is 37%. So cumulative is 57.9%, but for male it is 78.5% and female it is 37%. Now, some basic concepts. Okay, guys, how many of you are unemployed here? Can just if you can raise your hand, or you can just, how many of you are unemployed here? Okay, so I guess nobody. Now, why I'm asking this particular question? The question does not intended to be personal one. Why I'm asking this question? I'm asking this particular question for the explanation of one particular concept. See, I don't think that you are unemployed. I don't think that you are unemployed. Why you are not unemployed? Because you see this particular thing. Right. We have, suppose this is the entire population of country. This is the entire population of country. Now, here, obviously all people are neither willing to work nor they can work. For example, children below the age of 14, they are not allowed to work. That is child labor, prohibited by the Prohibition of Child Labor Act. Old people, let's say above the age of 62 years, because some cases retirement age is 60, some age 62, some age is 65 also. Let's say old people, they are, let's say, not willing to work. So understand this particular thing, guys, that first we have the entire population. Now, out of the entire population, we have labor force. Now, who are the labor force? Labor force includes those people. Labor force includes those people who are either working or willing to work or seeking work or available for work. Now, guys, you see this particular thing, that we have labor force, which includes people either working or willing to work or seeking work or available for work. To calculate their proportion, we have this metric or data set called as labor force participation rate. What does labor force participation rate means? Labor force participation rate means that percentage of population which is either working, willing, seeking, or available for work. That proportion is called as the labor force participation rate. So if you go back, what is the labor force participation rate in India? It is 57.9%. Means these many people are either working or willing to work or available for work or seeking the work. Fine. Now, labor force we have. In labor force, out of this labor force that we have, there might be some people who are seeking, available for work, want to work, but not getting work. These people will officially unemployed. So many of you actually are not unemployed. Why? Because you are not altogether the part of labor force. First of all, why you are not the part of labor force? Because to be the part of labor force of India, you should fall in one of category. Either UPSC aspirants, full-time UPSC aspirants, neither they are working nor they are looking for work right now. They are preparing for exam. But right now they are not looking for work specifically. Okay. So you are neither looking for work, nor you are seeking work, nor you are available for work, nor you are working. So you are not labor force, and because you are not labor force ka part, you are not even in the definition of unemployment. Okay. So you are not officially being counted as in unemployment category. So what is labor force participation rate? What is labor force participation rate? So it represents the percentage of a person in the labor force. Who are the person in labor force? Individuals who are working or seeking work or available for work out of the total population. We have worker population now. The ones who are actually working, that is workforce. The ones who are actually working, that is workforce. We have one more metric, that is worker population ratio. What is worker population ratio? Worker population ratio refers to the percentage of people working against the total population of country. So people working against total population. People working against total population, we called it as worker population ratio. Unemployment ratio, percentage of unemployed people in the labor force. So if you are not seeking work, we cannot call you it as unemployed. Fine. Guys, all these things are clear or not? Conducting authority, current weekly status means, current weekly status, if it comes, what does it mean? It means the status calculated on the basis of past week. What was your status past week? Suppose, now see, today I'm not seeking work. Maybe after 1 month I am seeking work. So current weekly status means the status as per last week's situation. Okay. Fine. I hope you have understood it. Now see, for female, it stands at 37%. For female, it stands at 37%, which is improvement over the past years. For female, it stands at 37%, which is an improvement over the past years. And the government says that now labor force participation rate finally it has started to improve. Now female labor force participation rate has started to increase. Now these data you can mention in your mains examination also. These data can also be mentioned in the mains examination. The next. So basically, there was this gig economy word that has been in news. Multiple developments have happened around gig economy's theme. So basically, first of all, on gig economy and how it is contributing in larger Indian economy, there was a report that was released. Then Blinkit and Zomato workers, they have raised issues with respect to gig economy. So basically, gig economy, platform, gig economy, what these keywords are, we should clarify it, because in UPSC prelims examination, many number of times keyword based questions have also been asked. So basically, first of all, what is gig economy? So gig economy refers to that labor market where employee and employers don't have a long-term relation. They don't have long-term contract. Now you see this particular thing, guys, that if you ever go and ask a Zomato person That are you an employee of Zomato? No, they are not employee of Zomato. They are called as the partners of Zomato. What does it mean? It means that Zomato gives them money on per order basis. Number of orders that they will deliver in a day, Zomato will give them commission. Here, Zomato has a flexibility that Zomato can terminate them whenever they want. Zomato might not give them work whenever the Zomato wants. Zomato also is not entitled to give them a lot of social security benefits, though, let me clarify this again, though there was this labor code bill, okay, there was a labor code on social security that was passed. It provided that you should give, but up till now it has not been implemented. So basically this component of labor market where the work is being assigned on per project basis, where employee and employer don't have any permanent long-term relation, this type of a work arrangement, it is called as the gig economy. It is called as the gig work. Now this gig work offers flexibility to both employer as well as employee. For example, suppose I am a let's say I am a YouTuber and I want to make certain YouTube videos and I want to get the videos edited. What I can do, I can hire a video editor, professional video editor. I will give that person money on the basis of one project. Fine. Next time I can hire another person. This person can simultaneously work for 10 people. So basically guys, when we talk about the gig economy, so gig economy is that part of labor market which relies on independent contractors and freelancers. Now, when we talk about gig workers, there can be platform-based gig workers and non-platform-based gig workers. Platform-based gig workers, non-platform-based gig workers. Now, platform-based gig workers are the ones which are getting work assignments by the help of a technological platform. For example, Zomato, Ola, Uber, Swiggy, Urban Company. How these people get the contract work? There is an application on that basis. Then there is a non-platform based gig workers. Now, gig work is nothing new. It has existed since ages. So, construction workers, they are the gig workers only. Painters, carpenters, plumbers, they are the gig workers only. So, in your city also, you might be having some location where early morning every day, laborers, they come there. And people also, they come there and they take the laborers with them and they give them some work, which can be of one day, which can be a few hours, which can be a few days. So non-platform based gig workers, so construction workers, agricultural laborers, plumbers, carpenters, all they are example of non-platform based gig workers. And when we talk about gig economy in India, so gig economy, it is expected to rise to $455 billion by 2023, which will be 1.25% of India's GDP. Now, there is the Code on Wages and Social Security, which provides that some minimum wages and social security is to be given to gig workers. Fine, but there are many editorials that are regularly published in multiple newspapers, and all of them are largely providing this thing that actually it is not getting implemented. And certain state government, for example, Karnataka government and Rajasthan, they have come out with the welfare bill for the gig workers. Okay. Yes. Any question, anyone? I hope, guys, that it is clear to everyone. Next, skill impact bond. Skill impact bond. Now, first of all, what is now? See, first of all, before going in skill impact bond.
Sorry to
Yes.
disturb you. So, could
Yes.
you please explain those flagship schemes of every small schemes, which are important basically?
Please pardon, I didn't got your question.
Name of those flagship schemes of every small schemes under which small schemes are projected.
Flagship scheme. Which topic you are talking about?
Sir, I'm talking about every topic uh, every small schemes in which flagship schemes are there.
See, first of all, see.
Basically, which are important according to you.
See. Understand this thing. There are actually hundreds and hundreds of schemes that we have at the center as well as the state level. And two things. First of all, it is not possible, and secondly, it is not even important for us to know them. But important ones that are there in news that I am going to cover eventually as and when it will come. I have integrated all of them. Fine. Secondly, Ministry of Women and Child Development recently it has went through a massive overhaul of its scheme. What did they have done? They have basically recently reorganized all of their schemes under three broad umbrella schemes. So that completely I am going to cover when I will discuss the social justice. So don't worry, that I will do.
So
Okay,
that's
so
why I have mentioned according to you.
yes, Melissa, I'll do that. So point is that even you have raised a very good question. Other aspirants also not at all needed that you go and see all the schemes. The major ones will cover in the classes accordingly as and when it will come. Economy will do economy related, social justice will do social justice related. Likewise, as will be moving along, will do that. Yes, Melissa, I'll do that.
Thank you so much.
Sure, I will do that. Okay, skill impact bond, skill impact bond initiative. Recently, it was there in the news. Before going in the skill impact bond initiative, first basic thing, you need to understand what is a development impact bond. What is a development impact bond? And before that, what is a bond in general? What is a bond in general? So basically, bond is a debt instrument. Bond is simply a debt instrument. What is a debt instrument? Now, suppose I need some money. Suppose I need some money and you have excess money. What I can give you a paper. On that paper, it will be written that I am borrowing 1 lakh rupees from you. In return, I will give you 10% interest every year. Fine, after 10 years, you give me back this paper and I'll give you back your 1 lakh rupees. So what is a bond? Bond is simply a debt instrument. Bond is a mechanism through which a person borrows money from another person in exchange of some interest. That is a bond. Now, development impact bond, this is a kind of a mechanism where money will be raised, but that money will be used for bringing some impact in the society, Now, earlier guys, now see, there are many different type of bonds that we have. For example, green bond. Green bond, it is again a debt arrangement where money is being raised and that money will be invested in some green project, renewable energy project, etc. Now, what are the developmental impact bond? These are special type of bond in which money is being raised, but that money will be invested to bring some impact in the society, to bring some social impact in the society, some developmental impact in the society. So this concept we have. Now you see this thing. There are many philanthropists that are there. Today, now see, many people are there who have earned the money, but now they are working, they are willing to bring some social change in the society. Just let me give you one example. For example, Bill Gates runs this Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, in which they donate thousands and thousands of crores of rupees or millions and billions of dollars they are giving for charity work. The founder of Zerodha, Nikhil Kamath, he had pledged that all of his wealth he will donate during his lifetime. So many of the philanthropists, billionaires, rich people, they want to bring some social impact. So basically, in the developmental impact bond, one organization or government or any agency will raise money, will use that particular money for some impact in the society. And on the basis of impact that is coming, money will be returned back. Now see, it is not that money will not come back. Money will come back. But the amount of, but the interest that you will get, fine, that is commensurate to the impact that your money is bringing. Now, what has happened recently, skill impact bond initiative was taken. Now, what is the skill impact bond, first of all? So skill impact bond is India's first development impact bond. This particular bond was initiated by National Skill Development Corporation. National Skill Development Corporation. Now, what this entire mechanism is all about? Now, see this particular. Here, what will happen? National Skill Development Corporation will raise money, and that money will be raised for skilling people. That particular money will be raised for, and that particular money will be used for skilling people. Okay. Now, in this particular skill impact bond, it aims to benefit 50,000 Indian over 4 years, and special emphasis will be given to women. And out of this 50,000 people, 60% beneficiaries should be women. 60% beneficiaries should be women. So, what is the objective? That will raise money through this social impact bond. That particular money we are going to use to train 50,000 people. Out of that 50,000 people, minimum 60% should be women. Fine. And as a public-private partnership, people will be employed, they will be trained, they'll be skilled, then they'll be provided employment. Now, what happened recently? Report card of this particular skill impact bond was released. That okay, how much benefit has accrued? So it provides that basically what has happened, 8,000 people have been trained and 72% of them are women. So this is a very good thing that is going on. What was target? 60% should be women. Target was 60% women, but as of now, 72% of them are women, and 18,000 first-time job seekers have already been trained, which is a very good thing. Okay. Now, who is running it? Who has organized it? National Skill Development Corporation. National Skill Development Corporation. Now, National Skill Development Corporation, what its status? Because on these things also in prelims, a question can be asked. So, National Skill Development Corporation, it is a not-for-profit public limited company under the Companies Act. Not-for-profit company. Fine, it operates under the public-private partnership model, and it is established by which ministry? Ministry of Finance. Ministry of Finance. Okay. Now here, under this Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, it holds a 49% stake in NSDC, and private sector owns 51% stake. Okay, so this is the NSDC. Fine. Okay, I hope it's clear to all of you. Now moving to the next one, Grameen Udyami Scheme. Grameen Udyami Scheme. So recently this Grameen Udyami Scheme was also in news. Why? Because Grameen Udyami Scheme has been extended. Grameen Udyami Scheme, just a minute. Yes. So basically, recently, Grameen Udyami Scheme has extended to 49 ST scheduled tribe clusters in 15 states. Now, see, what is this Grameen Udyami Scheme all about? This Grameen Udyami Scheme aims to develop entrepreneurship. It aims to provide skill development to the tribal people so that they can get self-employment, so that they can venture into the entrepreneurship. So this Grameen Udyami Scheme, fine, Grameen Udyami Scheme, it aims at bolstering, enhancing skills within the tribal communities. Okay, and Grameen Udyami Scheme, who is running it? It is being run by the National Skill Development Corporation. National Skill Development Corporation. Fine. So initially it got started as a pilot project. What is a pilot project scheme? A scheme that is started on a limited basis to test that whether it is working as per expectation or not. Once it proves the expectation, then it is enrolled for the entire nation or a bigger part of the country. So it initially got started as a pilot scheme, and in Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, MP, and these states. Now it has been extended to 15 states. And basically tribal MPs, they are going to lead this particular scheme. Why? Because of their tribal background, they better understand what will work for tribal people's upliftment. Now, this particular scheme is being implemented under the Sansadiya Sankul Pariyojana. Sansadiya Sankul Pariyojana. Now, what is the Sansadiya Sankul Pariyojana? Under Sansadiya Sankul Pariyojana, rural local economies will be provided. Employment opportunities will be provided to the people in their villages so that they need not to migrate to other cities, so that they need not to migrate to other states. Okay. So Gramin Udyami scheme. Fine. So again, understand Gramin Udyami scheme. Who is running it? National Skill Development Corporation. Now, this particular scheme, what it aims? It aims to enhance the entrepreneurship, or it aims to enhance the skill development in which community? Tribal community specifically. So it is a specific to tribal communities. Next, Atal Sarthi. Atal Sarthi. Now, before going in Atal Sarthi, let's understand Atal Innovation Mission first. Then we'll understand Atal Tinkering Labs, and then we'll go to that one, Atal Sarthi. Then we'll go to the third one, Atal Sarthi. So first we have Atal Innovation Mission. Now, what is Atal Innovation Mission? Atal Innovation Mission is being implemented by Niti Aayog, and it aims to build the culture of innovation in India. It aims to instill out-of-box thinking capabilities in students. It aims to build out-of-box thinking capabilities in students. It aims to build the culture of innovation among students, entrepreneurship. Okay. Now, under this Atal Innovation Mission, Atal Tinkering Labs have been established. Now, now see, I'll tell you one particular thing that when we talk about the China, there is a case study with respect to the China. Innovation and transforming a prototype or building a prototype, converting an idea in prototype is very easy in China. So in China, there are hundreds and thousands of labs that have been developed where a student can go, where a person can go. Suppose I have an idea. I have an idea. What idea I have? Let's say pizza boxes are square in shape. Let's make circular shape pizza boxes, and let's make the plastic pizza boxes so that people can make pizza and can store them in their home more conveniently. Let's say I have this idea. It might sound absurd to you, but let's say I have this idea. Now, what I want to do? I want to make a prototype. Now, I make this drawing on paper, but on the paper, I cannot find the loopholes that are there in this. So I need an actual round circular shaped pizza box. Now, what I can do, if I can go to a lab where a 3D printer is there, in that 3D printer, I can get a 3D prototype of this particular idea, and I can see that what are the problems, whether it is practically feasible or not. Okay, so understand this thing that often entrepreneurs, students, people, tech savvy people, they have a lot of ideas, theories, but they want to, in order to make a prototype, they need machinery, they need equipment, they need 3D printers, they need many more kind of things. So these labs are there which provide them all these opportunities. So innovation is actually has become possible and has become quite easy in these countries. So the same idea we brought in India. So under Adult Tinkering Labs, what is being done? So in order to nurture the creativity and innovation, in school, these dedicated tinkering labs will be developed. In these particular labs, scientific equipment, machineries, etc. will be provided so that the students can convert their ideas in prototypes. Students get all the scientific assistance here. Now here, what will be done? It will, children aged 12 and above, they will be provided technological innovation tools. And these adult tinkering labs, where they will be deployed at school level. At school level, adult tinkering labs will be deployed. Okay. Now, guys, we find this particular thing that though adult tinkering labs have been developed at schools, government is giving them money, but utilization of these adult tinkering labs is not up to the mark. Sometimes what happens, school has taken money that, okay, we'll develop adult tinkering lab, and they have not brought the equipment, or equipment is faulty, or lab has been shut down. Students are not being allowed to use it. So to see the implementation of these adult tinkering labs, to see their efficiency, to see that whether they are being used or not, or to see what impact they are bringing, what has happened? This Atal Sarthi platform has been launched. Atal Sarthi platform has been launched. Now this Atal Sarthi platform, it has number one, My Atal dashboard. So what it is? Self-reporting tool, which will, on whose basis performance tracking of labs will be done. self-reporting tool. It is a self-reporting tool. So basically schools, they themselves will report that, okay, these many students use the lab, these many prototypes were made. Then compliance SOP. So schools will be provided a standard operating procedure that what steps you need to follow in order to ensure the fullest application of fullest implementation of it. Cluster-based approach. Cluster-based approach. So support is provided to the Atal Tinkering Labs. Fine. Technical support is provided. Performance enablement metrics. Fine. So it provides certain tools to the schools so that the schools can assess at themselves that, okay, whether we are fully utilizing these labs or not. Are we exploiting their potential fully or not? Okay. So this is about this Atal Tinkering Lab and Atal Innovation Mission. Yes, guys, is it clear or not? Is it clear to everyone? Okay, fine. Moving on. Next, incremental cash reserve ratio. Incremental cash reserve ratio. Okay. So it was in news. By the way, already you might be knowing about the cash reserve ratio. So basically, what is cash reserve ratio? It is the percentage of deposits that bank has to keep aside, which they cannot lend, Okay. Now CRR currently it is around 4.5%, but it gets changed also from time to time. From time to time, it gets changed marginally, certain percentage points up or below it can go. So don't get fixated too much that every week you are tracking that what is the CRR right now. So means that suppose 100 rupees if are deposited in bank, 4.5 rupees bank has to keep as CRR, cash reserve ratio. They cannot lend this particular money. And this particular liquid cash has to be kept. Okay. Now, what is incremental cash reserve ratio? Incremental cash reserve ratio, it is an extraordinary tool which is used in the time of excess liquidity when it comes to the bank. Now, one case study just I want to give you here, and then I'll come and then we'll be coming here. See, when demonetization happened in 2016, for certain period, for certain duration, cash reserve ratio, see, for certain amount, for certain money, for the money that was deposited during a particular period after demonetization, actually, cash reserve ratio was raised to 100%. Cash reserve ratio was raised to 100%. Why? You see this particular thing that so much money is coming to the bank because of demonetization. So much money is coming to the bank because of demonetization. Fine, 86% of currency in India was held in the form of 500 and 1000 rupees note. So much money came to the bank. So what banks can do? Bank can provide really cheap, very cheap loans to the people because they have a lot of money. They'll provide loans to the people. It will bring a lot of inflation. So it was provided that you have to maintain 100% cash reserve ratio. You cannot lend this particular money that you have received during this particular period of time. Okay. So when excess liquidity comes in the bank, to ensure that the banks don't give really cheap loans to the people, because giving so much of money, flooding so much of money will bring inflation. Momentarily, cash reserve ratios are increased, and we call them as incremental cash reserve ratio. Fine. So actually what happened? Recently, you know this particular thing that 2000 rupees notes were recalled back. 2000 rupees notes were recalled back. And therefore, for a particular duration of period, incremental cash reserve ratio of 10% was notified by the Reserve Bank of India. So net demand and time liabilities that increased, net deposits that were raised between May 19, 2023 to July 28. Dates are not important. Okay, please don't go into the dates. So for this particular duration, incremental cash reserve ratio was raised to 10%. Why? Because the 2000 rupees notes were being returned by the public to the bank. So in order to prevent the excess liquidity in the system, it was done. Okay. Sir, what is a skill impact bond? Skill impact bond is a dedicated. What is a skill impact bond? First of all, it is a bond. Bond means that it is a debt instrument. Debt instrument means that the money has been borrowed. Now that money is borrowed for a special purpose. What purpose? For skill development of people. So it is bringing a special type of an impact in society. What type of impact? Skill development. Okay. Megha, is your question clear? Fine. Moving on. Fine. Now, other tools used by Reserve Bank of India, liquidity adjustment facility, standing deposit facility, open market operation. So these are the static concepts of your economy, and I hope that already you have already done it in your economy. So no need to go again in that. So even I'll not recommend you to go too much in that if you have, because already you might be knowing it in your basic economy. You have read it. Fine. Moving on. Surplus transfers. So basically, recently what has happened, RBI transferred more than 87,000 crore rupees. Number is again not that much important, with to the government of India, 188% jump from 21-22. Now we need to see activities by which RBI earns surplus income. Now you see this particular thing, that Section 47 of the RBI Act 1934. Section 47 of RBI Act 1934 mandates RBI to transfer the excess reserves, to transfer the excess money to the government of India, Fine. RBI is also exempt from income tax. Okay, these points you should keep in mind. RBI is exempt from paying income tax. Now, interest earned on holdings of domestic and foreign securities, fees, commissions, profit generated from exchanges, foreign exchanges. Okay, these are the income sources of RBI. Okay, then there are the expenditures of RBI. Cost, they are printing notes, payment of interest on deposits and borrowings. Okay, there is a lot of there is a money that is deposited by banks to the RBI. They have to give loan on that. They have to give interest on that. Okay. So basically, we have income of RBI, we have expenditure of RBI. When RBI's income will be more than the expenditure, RBI will generate surplus. RBI will generate surplus. And that particular surplus as per the Section 47 of the RBI Act 1934 is to be, this particular surplus is to be given to the government of India. The next is transition from LIBOR. So recently, Reserve Bank of India, RBI, okay, RBI has issued the strict advisory to the banks to completely transition away, to not to use LIBOR. LIBOR stands for London Interbank Offered Rate. Now, what is this LIBOR, first of all? So LIBOR, London Interbank Offered Rate, LIBOR, this is a benchmark interest rate that banks use for lending to each other. So banks are lending money to each other. One bank is lending money to other. So on what rate they will lend money? So that rate is decided on the basis of LIBOR, that is London Interbank Offered Rate. Now this LIBOR, who releases it? So basically LIBOR, Intercontinental Exchange, calculates and publishes this LIBOR, this rate daily. And this particular rate, it is calculated on the basis of 5 currencies and 7 maturities. Okay. Now, basically in past what has happened, in past there are multiple reports with respect to manipulation that is carried in this LIBOR rate. Fine. There is manipulation, there is a opaqueness, transparency is not there. So therefore there is a lot of criticism with respect to this LIBOR. Fine. Criticism with respect to this LIBOR. Therefore, Reserve Bank of India has said that banks should not use this for the bank. Now see this thing. One concept you should understand. Number one, when we talk about the LIBOR is used by the banks for consideration of calculating the interest that they need to charge when they are borrowing and lending money to each other. But at the end of the day, it will also influence the consumer loans also. Now, don't get me wrong. This indirectly will have an impact on consumer loan. Why? Because if bank, now see, bank is getting money at a particular interest rate. If bank is getting money at a higher interest rate, it will give loan at higher interest rate. If it is getting money at a lower interest rate, it will give it loan at a lower interest rate. So directly, they are not used for the consumer loans, but indirectly they impact. So therefore, if there is any transparency, any opaqueness, that is a cause of concern. Fine. Non-callable deposits. Non-callable deposits. So recently, RBI has raised the minimum threshold for offering the non-callable deposits. Non-callable deposits. So what are non-callable deposits? Guys, non-callable deposits are simply a special type of fixed deposit. Special type of fixed deposits. Money that you deposit in banks can be of two types: fixed deposit, demand deposit. Demand deposit is your normal saving account where you can withdraw money whenever you want. Fixed deposit, money gets blocked for a particular period of time. Now, fixed deposit can be two types. Fixed deposit can be of two types, that is callable fixed deposits and non-callable fixed deposits. Non-callable fixed deposit. Non-call, now see, even fixed deposits can be diluted. They could be broken after some time. Now see, suppose I made a fixed deposit of 5,000 rupees, which will mature after 5 years. But let's say after 2 years, I need that money. So I need to pay a penalty. I need to pay a penalty and I can get the money back. I can access my money. This is the callable fixed deposit. These are the callable fixed deposits. Non-callable deposit, you cannot withdraw money at all. Fine. Now, basically, guys, the minimum amount for non-callable deposit should be 1 crore rupees. Below 1 crore rupees, non-callable fixed deposits cannot be given. Number one, if there is no possibility to break that deposit, why people go and open these non-callable fixed deposit? Because these non-callable fixed deposit gives higher interest rate. Fine. Second thing that comes here. Second thing that comes here is that why 1 crore rupees limit? So that only those people open these non-callable fixed deposit who has excess money, who are actually wealthy, rich. Because who can park 1 crore rupee for a very long period of time? Only that person who has a lot of other money also lying. So non-callable fixed deposit, who introduced it? RBI 2015. Does not permit any withdrawal before maturity. Fine. Higher minimum investment. Fine. FD, you can start FD with a marginal amount, 500 rupees FD, 1000 rupees FD you can open, but that is non-callable, callable FD. Non-callable FD, minimum amount is 1 crore rupees. Fine. Withdrawal is restricted except only two conditions: bankruptcy or depositor's demise. A person who deposited has died, or if there is a bankruptcy. Apart from that, other conditions, they are not allowed. Okay. Can you repeat how LIBOR affects bank loans giving capacity? See, what is LIBOR? LIBOR is that rate at which banks are lending and borrowing money with each other. So suppose I'm a bank. I got a money from the other bank at a particular interest rate. If that interest rate is high, obviously, see, I need to give loan to the consumers. The raw material for that is money. If I'm getting expensive money at high interest rate, then at the end of the day, consumer loans will be impacted. So my point is that directly they don't impact, but indirectly there's an impact. Yes, Sonal, is your doubt clear? Fine. Okay, guys. Okay, guys. So here just we are going to take a 2-minute break. So right now it is 2:24. We'll come back at 2:26. So 2-minute break we are going to take here. Okay, guys. Yes, meanwhile, if there's any doubt, please, you may ask your doubts. Okay, moving on. Next topic that we have here is evergreening of loans. Evergreening of loans. So basically what happened recently, Reserve Bank of India has raised concern over evergreening of loan. Now, what is evergreening of loan? Basically, evergreening of loan is the tendency of banks to renew or to give more money to those lenders which have not given their installments already, which are not returning their dues on the time, renewing their loans or giving them more money. It is called as evergreening. For example, you gave me a loan of 500 rupees. I said that I'll start a business. I'll start a business. And I'll say that, okay, I'll be giving you 50 rupees of installment every month. Okay. But after 1 month, what happened? I stopped giving installment. I say that my business is not working and I cannot give you money. So what you'll do, you, let's say, rather propose that, okay, fine, I have given you 500 rupees. Let's take more 500 rupees and again try to start your business. You have an expectation that, okay, now this time I will return you 1000 rupees with interest. But again, let's say second time also my business failed. Third time also you give me 500 rupees again. That again start your business. This is evergreening. This is evergreening. Now, guys, evergreening of loans, it refers to extending new loans or additional loans to the borrowers who are already struggling, and their loans have, fine, who are already struggling. Now, a question will come in your mind that, okay, if a person is already struggling, why the bank give more money? Why the bank gives more loan? So banks give more loans in order to provide the NPA, non-performing assets, non-performing assets. Now, basically, guys, non-performing assets are those assets. Now, see this particular thing. When a bank, now see, when a bank receives money from a depositor, that particular money is the liability for a bank because bank has to give that particular money. So that will be, that is a deposit and deposit is a liability for a bank. When bank is lending money, that particular money bank will get someday back and will also earn the interest on that. So this is an asset for the bank. This is an asset for the bank. So basically certain assets means certain loans that the bank has given, but these particular loans are not yielding. Certain loans bank has given and these loans are not yielding. Even the principal might not come. It has become a non-performing asset. And if non-performing asset goes beyond a particular number, if non-performing asset goes beyond a particular number, it will have a lot of implications. For example, bank's share price might go down. It will invite the scrutiny from the Reserve Bank of India. Okay, it will create a bad perception of that bank in the eyes of the public, and all that particular blame might will go to the CMD of that bank. Okay, the higher command of that particular bank. So often what happens, bankers particularly at the higher level, in order to ensure that this NPA number does not goes up, what they do, they are renewing the loans. Fine, they'll give, okay, take more money, pay your interest, take more money and give us the interest. Fine. So this is something that happens. And now this evergreening, it is also called as zombie lending. Zombie lending, where the true status of bad loan is being concealed just by giving them more and more money. Okay, zombie lending. So basically, again, keyword based question, if it comes that zombie lending is often in news, what it is? So it is a kind of an evergreening of loan, giving additional lending to people. Zombie lending. Fine, zombie lending. Now, evergreening of loan can be done by many ways. Evergreening of loans can be done by many ways. Number one, bringing two lenders. See, two lenders can come together. Suppose, now see, NPA problem, this challenge is not being faced by only one bank. This challenge is being faced by a lot of banks. So what can be done? Let's say X bank, Y bank. Okay. Now X bank has certain accounts which are not paying money. Y bank has certain accounts. So X and Y will go in a deal. X will say that, okay, I will buy your bad accounts. Y will say that, okay, in return, I will buy your bad accounts. Okay. And then they'll renew that particular loan account. Those loan accounts will get renewed. Loan accounts will get renewed. So two lenders can come together. Structure deal with good borrowers. Structure deal with good borrowers. For example, there is a high net structure deal with good borrowers. Banks persuade credit-worthy borrowers to engage in structured deals with the stressed borrowers. Now, suppose there is a good borrower who is paying money on time. He'll be convinced that, okay, there is that XYZ company. The person is not able to run that company effectively. You do one thing, you buy that business and will help you to reach a deal. You buy that particular deal, okay, and will transfer that particular loan on your name. Internal account adjustment. Now, this is all right, outright illegal thing that will be done here. What will be done here? So let's say a person who has taken the loan, he is not paying money, but bank will do a fake entry that, okay, we have received the interest, we have received the money, okay, and that might happen because of some collusion, some corruption that is going on. Okay, so internal bank account readjustment can be there. Then renewals of loan or additional disbursement already we discussed. So these are the ways through which the loans are evergreened. Fine. Yes, students, is it clear? Yes, is it clear to everyone? Any question if you have, any doubt if you have, you may please ask. Yes, clear to everyone? Moving on. Central bank digital currency. Central bank digital currency. So recently what has happened, UPI, QR code and CBDC, they have connected with each other. CBDC and UPI have been connected with each other. Now, one thing you need to understand, basically central bank digital currency, what this is nothing but this is the digitized form of our fiat legal currency that we have in India. Now, guys, understand this thing that I have a wallet. In that wallet, I have, let's say, 500 rupees. This 500 rupees is physical currency. Okay. You digitize this wallet, you digitize that money. This is the digital currency. Now, understand this thing. You might say this thing that, sir, I have money in my bank account. That is already a digital currency because I see just the digits on my ATM. I see digits in my phone. A message is received. That message says that, okay, this amount, this money is there in your bank account. That is already digital currency. No, that is not digital currency because that is that is actually a physical currency that is lying in the bank. That is a physical currency that is lying in the bank. Now, central bank digital currency, it is entirely be a digital currency which will be held in a digital wallet, and this digital wallet will be maintained by RBI. Okay, so these are the digital representations of the paper currency issued and backed by a central bank, unlike cryptocurrencies. This Bitcoin, Ethereum, they are not issued by any central bank. They are not regulated. They are not issued by the central bank. So their value is the same as the fiat currency. Okay. They can be exchanged also in the traditional currencies. Fine. Now, around the world, multiple countries are coming out. So Bahamas, they introduced the sand dollar as CBDC. Nigeria rolled out e-Naira. China also is coming out with the same project. Now, guys, just one thing I want to tell you here, and it will now understand this thing, that when this CBDC actually came, there was one particular concern also that was being raised. And please understand this particular, listen it very carefully, what the concern was coming. So concern was like this. Concern was like this, that see, today banks are offering very marginal interest rate on saving account. Very, very marginal interest rate on saving accounts bank are offering. But why people still keep money in saving account? They keep money in saving account so that their money is kept, just to protect their money, to keep the money in the safe custody. People are keeping money in saving account. And the deposits that the people are keeping in bank, those deposits banks are using for further lending. So bank's business, it is based on the people depositing money in bank. Now, if you bring this digital currency and digital wallet, people, rather than depositing money in bank, they'll keep money directly in this digital wallet and they'll hold these wallets themselves. Fine. Why? Because already banks are not paying that much interest. So people don't have interest in the banks. Okay. This was one concern, and then it was said that what will happen? Then it will impact the capacity of the banks to create more loans. Okay. So this is all about it. Now, moving on to the next one. Moving on to the next one. Okay. UPI. What is UPI? So in relation to the previous article, what is UPI? So UPI stands for the Unified Payment Interface. So it is a platform which enables peer-to-peer interbank transfers. So either through the mobile number or through the virtual private address, money can be transferred. Money can be transferred. Then recently, SEBI, they have launched Investor Risk Reduction Access Platform. Recently, SEBI has launched Investor Risk Reduction Access Platform at Bombay Stock Exchange. At Bombay Stock Exchange. Now, what is this Investor Risk Reduction Platform? Investor Risk Reduction Access Platform. Investor Rights and Risk Assessment Platform. Now, see this particular thing, guys. Let's understand this with the help of a practical example. Let's understand this with the help of a practical example. Suppose you are an intraday trader. Who is an intraday trader? Intraday trader is a person who deals in the trading of shares. He buys the share and tries to sell the share at a profit same day. Suppose in morning I bought a share at 100 rupees. That share went to 120 rupees. In evening, I'll sell that particular share. This is intraday trading. This is intraday trading. Okay. A person doing it is called as intraday trader. Now, I am trading my shares with the help of some demat account with some platform. There are many platforms, Grow, Zerodha, Angel Broking, such as. I am using some XYZ platform. Let's say I have bought the shares of 50 lakh rupees and immediately that particular platform's server is now down. Some platform I'm using, some website I'm using, some application I'm using, some stockbroker I'm using. Now, suppose their technical server is down, there is some technical glitch that came. Now, I have to close my trades. I have to close my position. Suppose I bought a share at 100 rupees and I expected that it will go to 110. But what happened? It started going down. It started going down. Now from 100, 95, 94, 93, 92. Now I want to cut that. I want to close that deal immediately so that I don't get a lot other, so that I don't make more profit. Oh, sorry, I don't get a lot more loss. But that technical glitch is there on that platform. So in order to deal with this, investor rights and risk assessment platform has been created. It allows investors to close their open positions and cancel their pending orders when the trading member sites become inaccessible due to unforeseen circumstances. So this platform has been developed jointly by BSE, NSE, NCDAX, MCX, MSE. So all these particular exchanges, they have jointly come out with this particular investor rights and risk assessment platform. Fine. So what this particular platform enables? This particular platform enables to close the open positions. Now, what these open positions? Open positions are the intraday trades that have not been squared off. Now, understand this thing. Intraday trading, you bought the share in the morning or wherever, but same day you have to square off that position. Now, SEBI. Any question, anyone? Okay. SEBI stands for Securities Exchange Board of India. SEBI is the regulator of stock market in India. SEBI is regulator of stock market in India. Now, when we talk about the SEBI is a statutory body. SEBI is a statutory body as it got created through this SEBI Act of 1992. Now, SEBI, so it is governed by the board which consists of chairman and whole time as well as the part-time members. Now, if you have any grievance against SEBI, if you have any complaint against SEBI, where you can appeal, so you can make an appeal to the Securities Appellate Tribunal. Securities Appellate Tribunal is one which hears the appeals against SEBI. Now, SEBI is a quasi-legislative and quasi-judicial body. Quasi-legislative means that it can issue its own regulations, it can issue its own rules, and quasi-judicial means that it can conduct inquiry. For example, if somebody is giving stock market tips without being a registered advisor, then the fine can be slapped on that particular person. If there is some insider trading that is going on, those insider trading charges can be investigated by SEBI. Okay, so all these particular things can be done by SEBI. So therefore, it is a legislative, quasi-legislative and quasi-judicial body. Fine. It aims to prevent these money pooling schemes, unfair trade practices. Then next we have foreign portfolio investment. Foreign portfolio investment. So recently, SEBI, it has released a consultation paper on additional disclosures, additional information that should be shared by high risk foreign portfolio investors. Now, what is FPI? What is foreign portfolio investments? FPI. What are the foreign portfolio investments? What are the FPI foreign portfolio investors? Now, see this particular thing. Who is a foreign portfolio investor, or what is a foreign portfolio investment? Suppose any investment is being made by the investors of USA in India's stock market. So this investment by the USA's investors in the Indian stock market, it is called as the foreign portfolio investment. It is called as the foreign portfolio investment, FPI, foreign portfolio investment. Number one. Number two, foreign portfolio investment, number one. Number two, what is FDI then? In FDI also, foreign investors are investing in Indian company and buying the shares. In foreign portfolio investment is also some foreign investor is investing in Indian company and buying the share of that particular company. So what is difference between FPI and FDI? What is difference between FPI and FDI? Now, Arvind Mayaram Committee. Arvind Mayaram Committee has explained this particular difference. Arvind Mayaram Committee has explained this particular difference. Now, Arvind Mayaram Committee explained that if any investor is buying the shares in a company and by that, if it gets a stake below 10%, if it gets a stake below 10%, then it will be classified as a foreign portfolio investment. But if any investor is acquiring a stake of more than 10% in a company, then that particular investment will be classified as a foreign direct investment. If you are acquiring a stake of more than 10%, then that will be counted as FDI. If you are acquiring a stake of less than 10%, it will be classified as an FPI, foreign portfolio investment. Now, guys, see, if you are acquiring more than 10% stake in a company, it means that you are interested in exerting ownership over that company. You are interested in playing a role in the management of that particular company. This is the reason that you are investing, you are buying the more than 10% of that stake. Now, when we talk about FDI and FPI, what are the core differences between FPI and FDI? So FPIs, they refer in a company just to make some profit, This is a hot money. Foreign portfolio investment, this money will come and they will go. When they will find a favorable condition, they'll invest, and when they don't have a favorable condition, they'll go back. Okay. Foreign direct investment, here the investments are made again by a foreign investor in the other country's company, but here investment is made with a interest of getting associated with that company in long run. Okay, they are active investor, they'll play active role in the management of that company. They're passive investor, they don't play any role. This is a direct investment, FDI direct investment, FPI indirect investment. Okay, long term, short term. Okay. Now, when we talk about FPI, right now, FPIs are regulated by the SEBI. Fine. So SEBI, they have constituted FPI regulations 2019, and under this FPI regulation 2019, right now the foreign portfolio investors and the foreign portfolio investments in India are regulated. Okay. SEBI imposes limits on FPI investments in Indian securities. Then FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act, PMLA, okay, all these issues are the ones which regulate the FPIs. Now, circumvention of press note 3, etc. Guys, no need to go it for your prelims and even for the mains examination, because this is actually the technical, this is the what technicalities were issued, fine, with respect to the FPI regulation, fine. So that is there, no need for your examination, neither for prelims nor for mains examination. So just you can skip this one. The next topic that we have here is the social stock exchange. Next topic that we have here is the social stock exchange. Social stock exchange. Okay. Now, what is this idea of social stock exchange? Let's understand this. What is this idea of social stock exchange? Let's understand this thing. See, guys, basically, social stock exchange are these companies which are working for some social cause, which are working for a social impact. Now, basically, social, social enterprise. I am giving you what is social enterprise. Social enterprise. Social enterprise are those corporates, those companies which are working for creating some social impact. Social impact. Now, see this thing. Suppose one of a company, one of a corporate, they come out with this particular proposal that women in many of the low income countries, they don't have access to safe and hygiene menstrual products. For example, they don't have access to safe hygienic sanitary pads. Sanitary pads that are being sold, they are very expensive. Sanitary pads that are being sold are very expensive. So what we'll do, we'll provide the high quality sanitary pads at the 1/10 of the cost. They identify that sanitary pads are so expensive because a lot of profit margins are being made by the companies. So today, what we'll do, we'll sell the sanitary pads at 1/10 of the cost at what they are available right now in market. This is something that they came out with, and they started doing it. Now, here, major consideration of this business is not earn money. It is to help the women to get the access to safe and hygienic menstrual products. This type of a company is called as a social enterprise. Means their orientation is not towards profit, their orientation is towards a social impact. Now, these social enterprises often, they are not able to get access to capital. Okay. So therefore, what has happened? SEBI, it has decided to create a separate segment. It has decided to create a separate segment, that is social stock exchange. Social stock exchange. Now, what is social stock exchange? Social stock exchange will be a special segment which will give visibility to the social enterprises. To the social enterprises. Okay. Now, guys, if you go on Bombay Stock Exchange, if you go on National Stock Exchange, fine, you find that the Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange, every type of company, it is a trading there, liquor company, chemical company, pharmaceutical company. Fine. So social stock exchange will be a type of a special stock exchange where only social enterprises will be listed. Where only social enterprise will be listed. First of all, guys, tell me this thing. Are you able to understand this point? Yes or no? What is social stock exchange? Social stock exchange is a special mechanism or a stock exchange where only social enterprise will be listed. What are social enterprise? Social enterprise are those companies which are working for creating some social impact. They are not working for profit. Now, one thing. Social enterprise can be of two types. Social enterprise can be of two types. That is for profit and not for profit. For profit. For profit means that, see, for profit means that they are making some profit out of their activity, but primary cause was not profit. See, recently this Nestle controversy came where they are selling the Cerelac baby food, knowing that they are using a lot of sugar, more sugar than what they sell in European market. Okay, why? So that that food can become more addictive, so that they can make more money. So here money is the prime motive. Okay. Social exchange are the one which are working for some cause, but out of that they are earning some profit. However, their intention was not profit, but they are making profit. So they are for profit social enterprise. And not for profit social enterprise, strictly they don't want profit. So these are the two types of social enterprise that we have. So basically, guys, understand this thing. There is a zero coupon, zero principal bond and donations for not for profit enterprise through mutual funds. What it is? Through this social stock exchange, not now, so understand this, only it is applicable only for not for profit organizations. Not for profit organization. For profit cannot do that. Not for profit organization, they can raise zero coupon, zero principal bond. What it is? It means that the money they are raising, neither they have to return principal nor they have to give any interest. Means they are getting a kind of a free grant. So through this particular exchange, zero coupon, zero principal bonds can be raised. Who can raise? Only not for profit social enterprise. So fine, the not for profit organization who are registered on social stock exchange, they can raise this particular zero coupon, zero principal bond. Neither money, neither principal has to be paid back, nor any interest has to be given. Fine. Then for profit enterprise, they can raise money through equity. Equity means by giving share. They can also raise a debt instrument, means they can take some loans, okay, through this social enterprise. Okay. So it will operate as a distinct segment within the existing stock exchanges. Fine. I told you that it will exist a separate, it will operate as a separate component. Fine. Retail investors. Who are retail investors? You, me, we are retail investors. You can invest only in for-profit social enterprise. Now, these points are to be noted down. Retail investors can invest only in for-profit enterprise. You cannot invest in not-for-profit enterprise. Fine. Institutional investors, only they can invest in the for-profit enterprises. Now, what is eligibility criteria? Who can get registered here? So, social enterprise, not-for-profit, for-profit, all they can get registered here. Okay. Guys, please write one additional point here. Please write one additional point here. Corporate foundations. Corporate foundations. Corporate foundations, comma, political, religious organization, political, religious organizations, comma, professional or trade associations, professional or trade associations, professional or trade associations, comma, professional trade association, comma, infrastructure and housing companies, infrastructure and housing companies, except affordable housing, except affordable housing, except affordable housing, would not be identified, would not be identified as, would not be identified as social enterprise, would not be identified as social enterprise, would not be identified as social enterprise. Yes, guys, is it clear or not? Fine. Okay. So, not for profit organization, they can raise fund through zero coupon, zero principal bonds. Already we have discussed. Okay. Fine. The next we have is a short selling. Okay. So only this you need to know here. Here, retail investors cannot, so retail investor cannot invest in for profit. Retail investors can only invest in for profit social enterprise. Retail investors cannot invest in not for profit. Retail investor mean you and me. We cannot invest in not for profit. We can invest only in for profit enterprise. Institutions, they can invest anywhere. They can invest in for profit. They can invest in not for profit. They can invest anywhere. Yes, Sonal, is your question clear? Okay. Then we have this short selling of stocks. Short selling of stock. Why this short selling of stock was in news? Because of this Hindenburg report that came. You might be knowing about that Hindenburg report, which said this particular thing, that the Adani group is involved in the stock pricing manipulation and all such things. Hindenburg report was released. Hindenburg was a short seller. Short seller. Hindenburg was a short seller. So what is this short selling of stocks? Now understand this particular thing, guys. The short selling of stock, it is a way in which, let me explain you. Guys, traditionally, if you don't have much idea about the stock market, then traditional understanding is this: the people think that a person makes money in stock market when the price of stock goes up, when the price of share goes up. For example, I bought a share at 100 rupees. Now its price is 150 rupees. In between, 50 rupees is my profit. But at the same time, there is also one more mechanism, that is short selling. Now, what happens in short selling? In short selling, a person makes money when the shares price is falling. When shares price is falling. For example, now how this short selling happens? How this short selling happens? In morning, shares price was 100 rupees. In morning, shares price was 100 rupees. And I predict that this particular shares price will go to 50 rupees before closing of the market. Okay. Though it cannot go that much low technically, because the lower circuit will hit, because in Indian stock market, we have the concept of lower and upper circuit. But for a minute, let's forget that. Suppose I predict that the price will go to 50 rupees. Fine, today itself. So what I can do short selling. Now, what is short selling? I will go to my broker, and I will say that, okay, I want to borrow some shares with you, borrow some shares from you. I will borrow 100 shares from my broker. Any number you can say, 150, 500, 5,000 as per your capacity. I will borrow shares from my broker and I will sell them immediately. What I will do, I will sell them immediately. As I will sell them immediately, what I will get? I will get 100 rupees for 100 share. I will get 100 rupees for 100 share. I will keep this particular money with me and I will wait till evening. I will wait till evening. Now, suppose after few hours, the price of this particular share from 100, it went to let's say it went to 80 rupees. It went to 80 rupees. Now, what I can do? I will buy the share from market now. I will buy the share from market now. Fine. I will buy the share from market and I will return the share to my broker. I will return the share to my broker. Okay. I took 100 shares from my broker. I gave back the 100 shares to broker. Fine. In between, 20 rupees per share is my profit. In between 20 rupees per share is my profit. This is called as short selling. So short selling occurs when investors profit from decline in the value of security. Fine. Is it clear? Guys, in short selling, there can be loss also. For example, my prediction went wrong. Rather than going to 90, 80, 50, that share, let's say, went to 150 rupees. So by evening, now I have to buy at 150 and I have to return that 100 shares to my broker. So this will be loss if the price goes up. Okay. Yes. Is this thing clear to everyone? Yes or no? Is this thing clear to everyone? Any question if you have around this topic or anything, please ask. Yes, guys, is it clear to everyone? Any question if you have, you may please ask. What is short selling? Short selling is a way of making profit in stock trading by predicting a decline in the price of share. What is done in short selling? In short selling, you predict that the share will go down. So what I can do, let's say right now share is trading at 100 rupees. I will borrow shares from my broker and will sell those shares. Okay. How at what price I will sell that share right now? 100 rupees. By evening, the share price, let's say, went to 50 rupees, 60 rupees, 70 rupees. Then I will buy at 70 rupees. And then I'll return the shares to my broker. So in morning, when I sold them at 100 rupees per share. And now I am buying them at 70 rupees per share. So in between 30 rupees is my profit. Okay. So Debarya, is your doubt clear? Fine. Fine. So this is about it. Tomorrow, guys, we are going to take the economy forward. And one information just I would like to share with you is that 25th we have the elections here. So 25th we shall not be having the class. Okay. Tomorrow we have 24th we will be having class. Okay, guys. Fine. Any doubt? Any question here? Okay, fine, guys. So tomorrow we are going to take it up from here. Thank you so much. Okay, okay. There's one question, sir. Will we have class? Yes, class will be there every day.